Okay, so the truth is, I had a really good time over the weekend. It was real chill. But I have completely forgotten how to stream. I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't remember how this goes. So we're going to ease into it and we're going to figure it out together, okay? Okay, so let's do the poll first. Everybody like the video. Hey, that's not enough likes. That's not enough likes on the video. A bomb was dropped? Oh, that sounds rough. No, and that's the other thing too. That's the other thing. Real talk. I am completely out of touch with everything that was going on. I know there's all kinds of stuff. I know everybody's all upset. There's this drama, that drama, and everything. Look, you guys are gonna have to fill me in. Okay? And also too, very, very happy to be back, you know. Perez, thanks for gifting a membership, man. Very, very happy to be back. Very happy to be with you guys. Although it is sort of worth saying that like let's just talk for a little bit. You know what I mean? Let's catch up. Do we really have to talk about my nerd coin addiction, Josh? No, we don't have to talk about that. In fact, let's not. Let's table that. Rossi, thanks for the gifted. Let me just ask you guys. Let's just have a little conversation before we get into anything too deep today. Have you guys you ever touched grass? Do you guys ever go out in what they call IRL? Y'all ever do that? Dude, it's weird out there. It's weird out there. Let's just start there. It's weird. Trust me, it's really weird in here too. It's weird in the internet. My races was on the grass. Oh, dude, Jareth was so close. I don't know if I should say this. Maybe it's a feel bad thing. Jareth said he was so close to winning this like massive race and getting this huge payday. And then he would have bought another Nerd Ventures tower right next to the original one. So anyway, yeah, no, I guess the thing I was trying to say is like, it's really weird when you do what I do and you're just like constantly plugged in and you're like in the internet space and, you know, super connected via social media and all that sort of stuff, to like go out and about and like travel places, do stuff with like real people. It's crazy. It's definitely a different vibe. And then when I came back, I got back yesterday, and I'll talk a little bit about the trip. You know, it was a really good trip. When I got back, and then this morning, I'm just like looking over everything, and I'm just like, my God, like you would think, guys, like if you were super plugged in, it would like the craziest shit is happening, and like, oh my God, it's so important. All this stuff's like a super big deal, and it's really consuming. And I don't know, I just had this moment of like, it didn't affect me at all. I was like in the real world, and now I'm like coming back in and kind of seeing how silly some of this stuff is. You know what I mean? Like it is a little silly how everything goes on DOS internet. But then again, it is the town square that we all go to. I mean, it's literally where I make my living. The YouTube factory is right in the middle of Internet Square. You know? Also, too, and this is another thing that I completely missed. I just completely missed it because, I mean, like, I just honestly don't care that much, and I was just, you know, checking out for the weekend. But apparently, there were some people pretty upset about my stream on Friday. We actually lost subscribers on that stream, and like people were really upset in like the comments and all this stuff. And I didn't check it out at all until I literally just got the stream set up today. And I'm just like, wow, what a crazy, I know, right? Isn't that wild? I thought it was like pretty chill, you know what I mean? And here I am, I'm sweating again too. Somebody swabbed me down. Dude, right? Like, I thought it was super benign, but I guess if you're one of those crazy people that think you should destroy other people's livelihood and like it's justifiable if you don't like a person's opinion that has that. I guess you're just like the dumbest motherfucker that could possibly exist. So it's actually not that surprising that if you're like that dumb of a motherfucker, that you would be upset about somebody saying that people that think like that are very dumb. You know what I mean? What? That's wild. Josh, I finally unsubscribed from Star Wars Explained. Oh boy, here we go. Oh boy, here we go, chat. Are we getting started up? I can't believe I have to put the AC on higher. It's like cold outside, but I'm in here sweating. I don't know. That's the tolerant, inclusive team for you. I mean, I think both teams are pretty intolerant, to be honest. You know, you've heard the spiel from me before. It's just like, let's put the microscope on this here. Let's put the microscope on this here. But there's examples on both. Subscribe to Warhammer Explained. Now that's a channel. Now that is a channel, baby. You can only fence sit for so long. You think so? I don't know. I'm pretty comfortable here. It's pretty chill on the fence, actually. There was a time where I was like, what if I formulated the toxic and aggressive middle ground? And we just literally like, we're like seriously fucking toxic and hateful towards both sides. Like what if you just got really aggressive about how stupid the divide is and how stupid the people are that like fan the flames? Like what if, like seriously, like the most toxic, the most oppressive, the like, because frankly, it's true. Like wouldn't that be something? Like we need an aggressive middle that just calls all the people even a little bit, like unless you're dead ass moderate, like literally if I ask you your position on any goddamn thing and you're like, I don't know, I can see both sides. Correct. Any inkling of opinion, taste, preference or whatever, bigot, tyrant, like just super fucking aggressive, you know? I mean, why cancel one side? Let's cancel everybody. Nerd of the Ring says, why talk Star Wars when there's Tyranids that need to be slaughtered? I know, bro. Honestly, dead ass, we should just stream Space Marine. Me and Nerd of the Rings should just stream Space Marine 2. Just do it right now and say forget about it. Anyway, but yeah, like, look, I assume there's some stuff with regards to that you guys want to talk about. I didn't watch Theory's video. I saw some of the fallout just like on Twitter or whatever. Yeah. So I mean, if you guys have questions or whatever, like I can talk about it, but I mean, I think you probably know where I stand on a lot of this stuff. But if you are curious, you could of course ask me. There's a little bit of Venom stuff going on. Because we asked for it. There's a new trailer coming on Thursday. Yo, what? Alex Perez teasing fucking Null hard. What? That's crazy. So is Venom all of a sudden, like, are we a Venom channel? Do we love Venom? Because I'm kind of excited. I'm kind of excited for Venom. And I think dude, like, I think the Null thing is fucking real, dude. I'm super confused as to how that's gonna work. But hey, bro, like, Null, let's go. Look, Sony's gonna Sony. Okay, listen, I know some of you are skeptic of this. Of course, it's Sony. Sony's gonna Sony. But would you rather Sony with fucking Craven the animal rights activist without a Spider-Man? Or would you rather them Sony with Null? Bro, come on, man. Come on, man. I was feeling strong empathy towards the anti-grifting side, yet your point on Friday caused me to ponder that a lot. Decided that I feel they should do more to denounce bad fans, yet otherwise okay. Wait, I don't know if I quite understand what you're saying. Decided that I feel they should do more to denounce bad fans. Oh, sure. So you're just, I guess you're just kind of saying like they're not necessarily great ambassadors for community or brand or anything like that. I think the thing is they just don't care. And by the way, they do actually do a lot of community stuff, but it's just for like their community or whatever, right? Yeah, I think I think the whole like grifting, farming, internet thing is, you know, strange. And I'm sure it's strange, like from people outside of it, like their perspective on it is probably strange. And that's chill. Like it's chill that people might not get it or like it or think that it should be done a certain way. I think that's totally fair. You can criticize those people. I just think generally, like it's just a tough thing for me to like get into, because I just think it's such a broken idea that you would try to sort of curtail or like put guide rails on or whatever for how a content creator is supposed to make content, right? Yeah, and I think that like with some of these things, it's just that principle and justice like matters, and like you can't do things that are unjust just because you think the outcome is worth it. That's what tyrants do. You know what I mean? Yeah. Zach, thanks for gifting a membership. Appreciate it. And then Zach says, happy Monday, my nerds. I'll watch this after work, but much love. Nerd Avengers for life. Hashtag UNT. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Appreciate the support, man. Yeah. So, I guess let me just ask you guys this, because I didn't watch the video, right? Is there, I guess Theory just made this big video kind of explaining, like, by the way, I already know a lot of the shit he probably said in the video. Because like we talked about this a lot. There were a lot of weird things that happened with other content creators and him. I also think a lot of content creators, and I know this happened to me personally, I know this happened to a lot of people in my circles. Content creators did sort of go through a change around the pandemic and lockdown and things of that nature. We used to be a lot more competitive and talk a lot more shits on each other, but nowadays for a lot of us it's become more community. Like we try to help each other out as much, like, and I don't know if you guys remember, but there were times where even like Cosmic Wonder, Michael Roman, you know, maybe even like New Rockstars to a degree, there have been other channels that I've had an antagonist kind of relationship with, but all that's pretty much done and over with. Like I don't care. I probably said or did some fucked up shit. They probably said or did some fucked up shit. Like it's whatever. Like no, there are no fucking rules for how to do this. Like you just start making videos or content in some way, and then all of a sudden like it gains traction and you start getting views in like a platform. There's no like guidebook on how to do this. But I know for my part, I've just become a lot more collaborative and a lot more open. I don't really think of it as competition as much. It's this weird machine god that we're all kind of worshiping, the algorithm. And we all know it's bullshit. Like I think that's the other thing that's really interesting about YouTube is like, I think a lot of us really do know that it's bullshit, but it is the game that we play. It is the job that we have. So we got to kind of do the bullshit, you know? So I don't know if that even resonates with any of you or whatnot. Like I said, I forgot how to even stream, so I don't even know what we're doing here. CC Rider says, what was so offensive about Friday? Me slow. Oh, I don't really know, man. I thought it was pretty mild. I was pretty antagonistic of Molly and of her position, and I still feel that way. Like that's a ridiculous thing, and I think it deserves shame and admonishment. Like that's what it is. It deserves shame. Maybe that's too far, but I think shame can serve a purpose, especially in a society. And I don't know if you guys know this, but we live in a society. Soren Sounds, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for the gifted. Okay, let's see what Star Force 1 says here. The thing that disgusted me the most was that it was so obvious how easily the demonetization could have spread to other YouTubers in the space. Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Again, like, it's so bad faith and it's so stupid that, like, I don't know. It seems obvious to me that this the type of people that think this is a good idea do not care about such things. Do you know what I mean? What's that old, there's like a Ben Franklin quote. We're going back to the founding fathers a lot here. But wasn't there a quote from Ben Franklin that said something like, those that would give up freedom in the name of safety and security deserve neither safety, security, or freedom? Something like that. You know, democracy is a messy thing. I think Plato said that democracy was the second worst type of government that could possibly be formed, which is kind of interesting. But I think that the whole promise of like democracy is that we give up efficiency and we be a little like kind of slow and we ebb and flow because freedom is more important. Freedom is more important than the proficiency of any one ideology or school of thought. God damn it, chat. Aren't we supposed to be talking? We're supposed to be talking about nerdy shit. Why do you guys keep bringing up the founding fathers and whatnot? The people need to know, where is Unity 2? Well, Unity Chapter 2 is already out. It's released only to the Kickstarter backers right now. Chapter 3 is being worked on right now. If that's what you're referring to, you might already have Chapter 2 and you should read it. But as far as Volume 2, we got to finish up Volume 1. Volume 1 is ballooned. It's got way bigger, pretty much doubled in size. And we also had an issue with the artist. But we're cooking and we're close. You know what I mean? We got to get Chapter 3 done, Chapter 4 and 5, and then we got to print. So, you know, I say close, but it's been kind of a tough process. But dude, it's sick. Like, Unity's sick. If you haven't read Chapter 2, I think it's awesome. And also, dude, Chapter 1 and 2 go together like peanut butter and jelly, bro. Like, it is. I think the way I thought of Chapter 1 and 2 is like, you will read Chapter 1 and yeah, you're sort of taking along a thing and you're like, okay, I kind of know what's going on. And then Chapter 2 fills in and you're like, oh shit, that's what that guy was doing. Wow. And then you're kind of set up into the actual world of Unity. And we will play with what the world is now dealing with after Chapter 2. So there you go. Churchill said, democracy is the worst form of government except for everything else. Or something like that. Yeah. No, I think that's that's a fair take. Based. Star Force. Hey, welcome back to the Nerd Avengers, baby. Oh, I missed the part, but F them. They weird AF. Oh, yeah, 100%. Britain, welcome back to the Nerd Avengers. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support. Hey, on the note of the members, guys, I just want to let you know, we will be drawing for the $200 GameStop gift card this Friday. Here's the thing, though. Technically speaking, if you are a member or you have gifted members, you get an entry into the giveaway. However, I don't know how many of you guys have been paying attention to the Mr. Beast shit that's going on right now. But technically speaking, I have to allow anybody to win. Meaning, technically speaking, there is a percentage chance, although it's small, that you could just randomly be in chat on Friday and win the $200 GameStop gift card. I cannot tie winning the gift card to the purchase of a membership, technically. And that whole situation is being worked out right now with Mr. Beast. I know, it's crazy. But think about it like this. Once that situation is resolved, we will have legal precedents to try to, like, figure out how to do this shit a little bit better. It's crazy, dog. Like, yeah, thanks a lot, Mr. Beast. Now listen, I didn't even know. I know it's so stupid, bro. But like, okay, have you ever seen the thing where they say no purchase necessary? Can't we do it in a member stream? Look, I'm not trying to go way down this rabbit hole, but I've been in the background trying to think of how to solve this problem. And I think that's the best I can do. If you're here on Friday, you have a chance to win the $200 gift card. If you've been a member, you've got a better chance. That's it. That's the best I can do. And if it's some random motherfucker in chat, we are all going to be so mad, dude. But hey, technically you're still helping out. You're here on Friday. You're watching the stream. That's chill. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, I don't know specifically the legalese, but I've been following the case, and I'm like, okay, I understand what's happening here. And unfortunately for Mr. Beast, he might kind of be fucked, bro. Like, I don't know how that's gonna work out, but he took that idea way too far. Like, way too far. If it's me, I'll laugh. I will laugh a little bit, but I'll still be Superman. Eckhart's ladder in theory even made up a little bit. I saw that on Theory's story. I think that's great. Look, I like Eck. Back when I was working with Theory, we had conversations about Eck. And you know what else, too? Like, I don't like to speak a lot about, like, Theory's and I's relationship. But, like, dude, Theory is a pretty reasonable guy, especially, like, behind the scenes. I think sometimes he's not super careful with his words. You know what I mean? Like, and that's fine. I think that's why people love him. He's just like authentic, and he's gonna say what he feels. But he's also like not careful. But behind the scenes, he's a super reasonable guy. Anything that we ever had an issue about, or any one person that, you know, I talked about that he didn't like or whatever, like, dude, we were always able to resolve it. You know? I think there's a weird parasocial thing that happens with content creators, especially content creators that do I don't know, their persona's a little bit more confrontational, let's say. I think there's this weird warping where people will start to view the person as like a rude, you know, arrogant. They start to project because of the persona a little bit. So Angry Liquid said, what are your thoughts on Dr. Disrespect? Did you see what his response was on the stream? Yeah, I mean, my first thought, the resounding thought was, I was watching it live, and when he said that shit about, like, what are we in second grade, I think the whole internet was like, that's gonna get fucking clipped, including him. And I think he was like, fuck, like, even after he said it. And that's ridiculous. You know, the internet is kind of a beautiful thing. And this isn't me, like, shitting completely on Doc, by the way, but, like, I love life. And I love the serendipity, the beautiful combination of random elements that can, you know, make things happen. For instance, when Doc got the message about everything happening, when the Elden Ring fucking music was playing, it's like, boom, and he's just like learning that he's fucked, basically. I mean, regardless of how you feel about that morally, that's funny, bro. Like, I'm sorry, that's funny. So my first thought is, this motherfucker got clipped like crazy. My second thought is, I don't know that he did enough, frankly. You know, I don't know that he did enough. I will say this, kudos to the strategy. I think it's a well thought out strategy. I don't think he was necessarily playing 4D chess when he made his first tweet, but it is interesting to, you know, present your side this way. I think that what he said was enough for people that were desperately looking for a reason to continue to support him. I think it might have been enough for some people that are in the middle that maybe aren't as invested, but just think he's really entertaining. But I think for a lot of people, it's just not good enough. You know, like, it doesn't win him any points in the court of public opinion, in my opinion. Maybe legally, sure. Which I think is how he was able to win his lawsuit. You know? But, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? His strategy was, I'm the victim? Yeah, for sure. And here's the thing, though. I think in some ways Doc absolutely is a victim. The problem is that doesn't necessarily prevent all the shit that he did that we're like, I mean, you know what I mean? It's like different things. Hey, Nerd of the Rings, appreciate you, brother. Thanks for the 20, man. You don't gotta do that. What's up, Josh? I totally agree. There's no playbook for this gig. Best we can do is try to be good people to one another and have fun with fandom. But the real question is, what is your Warhammer faction of choice? Oh my god, I'm so glad you asked. So, and by the way, chat, that's a $20 super chat. So this is going to be a little bit of a left turn here. Okay. Favorite faction is the Custodes. Okay, the Legios Custodes and the Adeptus Custodes. Okay, here we go. We're doing the whole. We're doing it. And why do I love the Custodians? Why? Well, I mean, first of all, you just look at Warhammer, okay? And even in the old Hammer art and a lot of the the paintings and the books with the images within the books, you see the Custodians and you're like, who are these dudes? Because they're these big golden dudes, and they're surrounding the Emperor. And I think they're meant to look like the Praetorian, the Roman Praetorian or something like that. Pure gold. Okay, so you even look at that shit and you're like, yo, who are those guys? Okay, but on top of that, like everything in Warhammer, it looks cool, it's kind of interesting, and you start to peel back the layers and you're like, holy fucking shit. The depth, the width, the girth. So big. Custodes are like the Lamborghini or the Ferrari of super soldiers. Okay, so even pick your favorite super soldier, guys. Who's your favorite super soldier? Captain America? Is it the Spartans from Halo? Who's your favorite super soldier? Pick your favorite super soldier. You tell me in chat right now. Bigley? Who the fuck? How do you like your secret lab chair? Oh, it's pretty chill. It's pretty chill. Yes, the lore is crazy. Yes. Sentry? I mean, Sentry's awesome, right? Master Chief's awesome. Cap's awesome. Here's the difference between the Custodes and every other super soldier. At least that I know of. Super soldiers have things introduced to their physiology to make them into super soldiers. Dude, I might have to write. This is a video idea for the Video Essay channel. Hang on. Oh shit. Okay. Custodes, the greatest super soldier in all of fiction. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, I know, right, dude? Okay, so check this out. I'll TLDR the second half of this, okay? It was a $20 super chat. Wait, were there two of them? No. It just did it in there twice. Okay, listen. Every super soldier in fiction is a normal person, and then they have something or substance introduced into their physiology to turn them into a super soldier. So the Spartans, they have stuff grafted on them, all these chemicals, a steroid cocktail and everything like that. Even Bucky, Cap, anybody, even Sentry has a serum that comes in and warps the physiology to give them characteristics that make them super soldiers, okay? Custodes, it's like 1 in a million that you find somebody that could be a custodian, and you find them at a very, very young age, and you literally change their physiology at the molecular, possibly the quantum level. So built gene by gene, cell by cell, atom by atom, they are crafted to be perfect. They're like these 9 feet tall, samurai-esque, just absolute beasts. It's said that each custodian is as valuable to the Imperium as entire worlds of resources and supplies and stations. So the Custodians are the fucking coolest shit. But the Dark Angels, should we talk a little about the Dark Angels too? We could talk about the Dark Angels if you want to. All right, I'll stop the Warhammer talk. Okay, I'll stop the Warhammer talk. Alex, what's up, man? Appreciate you over on Twitch. Static's cool, man. I mean, I think Static could be a DC Spider-Man. DC's got to get a lot of shit right, and it doesn't feel like they are. Okay, let me catch up on a couple of chats here. We'll stop the Warhammer talk. That's not... Wait, what? Raven Lore? How dare you? Okay, John says, Josh, if you keep saying democracy instead of constitutional republic, I'll have to break or leak your OnlyFans. Nerd Ventures for life. Unitag. Yeah, but I mean, the point still stands. You know, technically, yes, you're right. But Kenzie says, Kenzie says, that's why we don't live in a democracy. We live in a republic, representative republic. That could partially actually be why. Coop, thanks for the gifted. Winter Soldier says, have a great week, Josh. My best to you and the family. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. All right, we got Angry Liquid. Mano says, what's up, Josh? What's your opinion on the YouTube Star Wars drama? Also, are you and Theory still cool? Yeah, I think we're cool. We're not really close anymore. And as far as the drama, so I don't know. I mean, do you want the TLDR? Here's my opinion on it. Every person that's involved in trying to demonetize others deserves shame and some form of consequences. Would I sue those people? No. Will I be upset at these people if they sue those people? Not really. I don't really see what grounds there would be to sue where their actual damages occurred. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm also not a scientist. But yeah, I mean, my opinion, dude, everybody that was involved in pushing that, campaign or whatever to get YouTube to demonetize, they deserve like the highest form of shame that there is. Like, you need as many of your peers as possible to look at you and tell you, like, you really fucked up. Your thought process to get here is flawed. You lack social cues and understanding. This is shameful behavior. You know what I mean? So in my opinion, this is probably just that working itself out. You know, this is the ebb and flow of the universe. You know? So that's my opinion on it. Yeah. Other than that, though, I'm not going to get too deep on it, right? Like, and to be honest, like, I'm just really not that involved. Like I said, I've been out of town the whole weekend. I had a great fucking time. And I didn't really think about it that much at all. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the truth. Rossi says, Chaos Marines, let's go. Hashtag Team Gooners. Yo, that was so funny. It was a small exchange that we had. But like when I said like Slanesh and then, dude, it was perfect. You'd have to know the lore to know how perfect that was. But yeah, Nevin says, your Warhammer 40k propaganda got me going after playing Space Marine 2. I just started my Custodes army. Oh my goodness, that's great. Okay, so what shield host? What shield host do you like within the Custodes? Oh, you didn't know there were different shield hosts? Of course, there are different shield hosts. Okay, so you've got the personal guard. You've got Solar Watch, which usually wear like a more white gold armor. They monitor the Soul system. Solar Watch. You've got the Shadow Keepers. That's my favorite shield host. These are the keepers of the black cells underneath the palace, way down. They have access to relics and to prisoners and people from the dark age of technology. Oh, bro, dude, we could go. I mean, is it a Warhammer stream? Is it a Warhammer stream? I'll grab a sock and flip on Space Marine 2 right now. Right now. Appreciate you, Nevin. Coop says, it seems like you can't be a YouTuber unless you're rich and have a lawyer. I can't even test free jokes on stage without getting death threats. It seems like you can't be a YouTuber unless you're rich and have a lawyer. I can't even test free jokes on stage with getting death threats. I'm not sure what you mean, brother. I mean, I guess, yeah. If you're out there, I will say this: if you're a successful YouTuber, you should probably have a lawyer for sure. Rossi says, Josh put a sock in it. Borehammer. How dare you? Strange Cloud says, have you covered Geeks and Gamers Star Wars Theories versus Star Wars Explained drama? I mean, a little bit. You probably heard my take just now. I think you sent this. Yeah, like 5 minutes ago, so you're probably still here. Star Wars Sith says, socks, 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 socks. Hello there. What's up, brother? Appreciate you. Optimus Prime Rib says, picked up the new Legends Infamous Iron Man and Funko for 70. What? Looking for the arcade style controller? Dude, yeah, that's on Wednesday. Okay, let's talk about this too. Or is it Thursday? When is the 11th or the 12th? Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I'm pretty sure Marvel vs. Capcom, or I guess it's called the Capcom Ultimate Collection thing or whatever, Fighting Collection, that drops on the 12th, right? I believe. So I feel like Thursday, it's a gaming stream. I'll start early and we'll play hours on Thursday. If it actually comes out on Thursday, somebody double check me. Let's see here. Lodi. Josh looking handsome today. No Diddy. Hey, appreciate you, John. Yeah, I'm feeling good, man. Feeling refreshed. I didn't really sleep super well on Saturday night, but last night I slept so well. Warhammer stream. As a noob to the hammer who only likes it because of these streams, where should I start? As far as what? Reading? Here, you know what? I'll just tell you. My honest answer is to go watch some Luton 09 videos. That's my answer. Go watch some Luton 09 videos. In fact, we could just do that right now. We could watch Luton videos for like the next 5 hours if you guys want. I think he has over 15 hours of videos on the Emperor. Just the Emperor. Oh, man. I mean, you tell me. You tell me. How's today going to go? Have I ever played Marvel vs. Capcom before? Hell yeah, dude. I love Marvel vs. Capcom. The third game came out when I was in college, and I played the shit out of that game, bro. I played MVC 2, but like I was pretty young for it, so I was never really like great at it. Sounds like another goon motherfucker. Hey, maybe, and it would be awesome. Maybe, and it would be great. Is Warhammer Total War the same as this other stuff? I actually think there were some Total Wars that were like the Warhammer lore themselves, and I think some of them went Age of Sigmar or Old World or something. I'm not super familiar. Rossi says, if you talk about the Chaos Marines and that god they worship, I'm in. Oh, the Slanesh? Yeah. I'm not a big Chaos person, you know, but Chaos is cool, and the demons and everything in Warhammer are pretty sweet, dude. So I do like a lot of that stuff. Now, as far as like the books and everything, I think the best Warhammer novel to begin with is Constantine, or no, maybe they call it Valdor. It's the book about the first custodian, who's kind of like a Primarch and ends up becoming like a super important character, like 13,000 years later. Josh, who did you use in Marvel vs. Capcom? I'm Team Cable, Strider, War Machine. Well, in MVC 3, I liked Beautiful Joe. I liked Whisker, Wolverine, Doctor Doom, Magneto, Doctor Strange. I even liked Hulk, dude. I was pretty good with Hulk. In MVC 2, I liked Gambit, Cable, Spider-Man, Venom, Doctor Doom, you know. Gambit's pretty good. I don't even remember if Gambit was in the third game, though, to be honest. Wesker, not Whisker. I mean, thanks, but I prefer it my way. Is the Goonies 2 real? I don't know, is it? I hadn't heard anything about that. Can we talk about something else that's like, what the hell is even happening out there in the world? Can we shift, or do we still need to talk about the Star Wars thing? Any other questions? Anybody got like a difficult question? You know, like Chillin', you didn't miss anything. Hey, don't say that. Josh is a low tier god. I don't know what that means, but I'll take it. The force is strong on YouTube. Sure. Unlike Star Wars Skeleton Crew, which is real and looks promising, Skeleton Crew looks okay. Yeah, Skeleton Crew looks okay. Am I cosplaying as Doctor Doom with the green shirt? No, but it is a Doctor Doom shirt. Yo, we went wild this weekend. Saturday night, we went wild, bro. How you read Unity? Well, for now, you would have had to back one of the Kickstarters. Now, there have been opportunities to read it outside of Kickstarter, but we currently don't have one. I think maybe once I get chapter 3 ready, we'll do something, but we'll see. The big thing is when we get all 5 chapters together, we're going to put out some previews and stuff, and we'll probably do like another pre-order thing when it goes to print. You won't get access to a lot of the stuff that the Kickstarter people got, but technically you could get a copy of the book and pre-order it. That'll just help us out with like our printing numbers and whatnot. Saw the drinks. Bro, we drank so much. Tequila shots. Tequila shots. You know what, though? I'm always impressed, and I wonder if, you know, we've been doing a lot of diamond lounges. Dude, I think I can definitely still hang. You know, like I'm getting older, but I can still hang. I can consume a pretty good amount of, let's say, inebriating substances. Favorite Warhammer books were the first 4 Horus Heresy books. Some of the best books I've ever read, and it tells a complete story. Dude, I'll have to check those out. I don't think I've ever read those. I've read some, though. I read The End of the Death, part 1 and 2, just because like I just had gotten into Warhammer, and I was like, oh, I want to see what this is about. Oh, Jay, what's up, brother? What am I dressing up for in Halloween? So I do know the answer to that question. I just don't know if I should say it. It might be a cool tease for Halloween. But yeah, it's gonna be fun, and I think this will be like the first year that Liam like really gets it and has fun. So we've got a really cool costume for him, kind of like a family theme, and we'll go around the neighborhood, you know. Nevin says, I need all your advice for my army. Here's the thing when it comes to Warhammer. Just start building the army. Do not meta chase. Do not meta chase. Meaning, okay, so this unit's really good right now. So for us, it's the Venatari. Venatari are great right now. But I promise you, by the time you buy all your Venatari and have them painted and tabletop ready, they'll probably get nerfed. Like, that's how that shit happens. Like, you'll literally get your Venatari and you'll be like, dude, I'm fucking ready. I got 18 Venatari. Holy shit. And then GW will literally announce that they've been nerfed. Don't meta chase. Build out the sort of branches of the army. What do you need? You need some infantry. You need some battle line units. You need some heavy artillery. That's the way I would approach it. So with Custodes, I'd start building guard and warden. You probably want to have 15 guard, 15 warden. That's a good start. And then obviously your characters, like Valyrian's awesome. Shield captains you need. Blade champions are fucking sick. I love the blade champions. And then Trajan Valoris, of course. So there you go. Start that. There you go. Z-Lad says, what's the surgery that happens at the start of Space Marine 2? I'm a noob with 40k. Did they cut him apart and rebuild him? Kind of, yeah. So he was a Space Marine, but he was known as a firstborn. They were all made like a long time ago. Now, over the course of like since the Horus Heresy till now, there is the Primaris Space Marines, which are just like bigger, better, stronger. Okay. And they've been taking new, I think they call them aspirins. They've been taking new candidates and turning them into Primaris. However, there is a way to take a firstborn Space Marine and turn them into a Primaris Space Marine. That's what they did to Titus. So they did like extra modifications on him. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Tiberius, what's up? Hey, what up, Rob? Good to see you, brother. Second question for Josh. Have you considered a stream going over the history of comic book video games? That would be great, given your knowledge. So here's the thing. I would be open to that, but that is actually a gap in my game. Because I didn't play a ton of comic book video games. I mean, I've certainly played a lot of the big ones, but I don't know if I could give like an elaborate you know, historical telling of comic book video games. Because I don't know, like, I guess I just kind of got it. I was way more into comics and shows before I was really into video games. It kind of took me a while, and then I don't know, there have been a lot of very casual times in my video game career where I'm just like, I'm just playing that same game again. Like, dude, I played Halo 3 for like 8 years, bro. Like, I loved Halo 3. And then I even played it longer because when I went back to the MCC, Master Chief Collection, I played a shit ton of Halo 3. Halo 3 is great. Like, oh, it's just so fluid. The way you can do frag grenades in that game. Oh, my God. But thank you. Okay, I think I have talked about the Star Wars drama enough. We can move on to Venom, but any other last minute questions, concerns? What do you think? Did you like Infinite? Halo Infinite was cool, but they definitely fucked it up. I mean, that's just what it is. The slip space engine or whatever it was, terrible idea. Terrible. There was a moment where the Halo developers for Infinite were... Oh, I missed your super... Okay, I'll check that out, J.O. There was a moment when the developers of Halo Infinite were going to switch from the Slipstream engine to Unreal Engine 5 or 4 or something. And I'm telling you, if we could go back in time and make that happen, I think Halo would be in such a better spot. That program, that engine is just terrible. Like... There's just no way around that. That shit was bad. Okay, let's see here. I missed your first question, Tiberius. My bad, man. Tough question for Josh. Name a small recent purchase you made that had a huge impact on your life. Nerd Adventures, let's go. Okay, this is a good question. Small purchase, huge impact. Small purchase, big impact. Small purchase, big impact, huh? This is good question. This is good question. The thing that's throwing me is like small purchase. I'm like, when did I purchase recently that's small? Okay, how about this? Even though this isn't a great this isn't a great answer, but this is what I'll say. Saturday night, do you guys know this? Like when you're out partying or I guess just out for the night, to me, the stop go is like the worst. Meaning like, oh, you have a couple drinks at this place and then you stop for a while, you have food and then like everybody's chilling and then like you start drinking again. And like that stop go business is horrible. I like to go. So Saturday night, yeah, like a bar crawl. Yeah, but like it, Rob, like you know, I don't know if you've ever done this, but people that just like linger or take a break, or maybe they stop to go get, I don't know, fucking frozen yogurt or something, and then you're like, what the fuck? Like, no, like let's keep going. Anyway, Saturday night we were in this stop go thing, and we left the party, we left the engagement, and went and got coffee. So I took like 3 shots of espresso to the Dome. Because like I gotta go. Like I gotta go. You know what I mean? Like if I'm going, I'm going. So that was a small purchase that made a big impact on our night, because then I was able to party hard through the rest of the evening. Not a great answer, but that's my answer. Tim gifted a membership. Thanks, brother. Let's see here. Donnie says, have you played Star Wars Outlaws? I really enjoy the game minus the glitches. Nerd Adventures for Life, Unity. No. Is that the new one, Star Wars Outlaws? No, and I'm just really not interested. It didn't seem... Frankly, this is why. It didn't seem compelling enough to get me to want to experience it just from the game play, you know, the loop it just didn't seem that compelling. And also, I don't even like Star Wars the way I used to. So it's legitimately a sort of two-part reason why. I don't really care to visit and live in the world of Star Wars as much anymore. Maybe 5-6 years ago, I would have jumped at the chance to play even a mid-ass game just to be like in the Star Wars universe. Don't care as much. And then number two, nothing about the game looks intriguing to me. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't, the loops aren't compelling. I'm glad you like it though. Darth Vader's burnt asshole says, real talk. I love Star Wars, the good and the bad, but I think I'm done with it. It's just not fun anymore. The shattered fandom in the discourse turned me off completely. Yeah. And I think, look, I totally understand it. And I'm not going to condemn you for feeling that way. I get it. My only thing is that I think there's a difference of opinion on how this came about. And I blame Lucasfilm more than I blame the YouTubers. Other people blame the YouTubers more than they blame Lucasfilm. You could even blame Google, to be honest. Yeah. So I totally get it, man. I understand how you feel. It is a big old bag of shit. And in my opinion, a lot of this is literally Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm's fault. They deserve shame as well. And we'll see what happens, you know? Like, we'll see. Like, maybe we just have a little break, you know? Maybe Skeleton Crew comes out and, like, it's fine. And then that's, like, kind of chill. And then you get into Mando and Grogu and everybody's like, ah, you know? Maybe. Yeah, we'll have to see. Uton says Parker Gonzo. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. All right, let me see if I can find JL's. Soupy. Wait, oh man, did I miss some? I don't even see it. Did Google miss it, maybe? Huh, I might have to refresh this. I really do not see it on here. Yeah, it didn't show up on this end. JL, you're telling me you did a super? I'm telling you, I don't see it. Yeah, it's not showing up for me. Huh. That's weird. I didn't? Oh my god, you just set me on a wild goose chase. Filoni and Favreau should bring in Sebastian Stan as Luke and start a new adventure. Yeah, that'd be cool. Intermingle the Mandalorian Boba random side quests while he searches for more Jedi beings. I mean, I think that's fun, but I don't know. Like, does that solve the Star Wars problem? It almost feels like we're trying to throw a blanket on a fire. You know, like the shit's on fire, but we're like, yo, throw a blanket on it, which I guess technically could put the fire out. But like, if there's still a bunch of smoke coming out from under that blanket, like, I don't know if we really did anything. Kenzie says they need an open world Darth Bane game. The story is perfect for a game adaptation, leveling up, searching for relics. The atmosphere and environment takes place in. It's perfect. Yeah, that would be cool. Again, though, you know what? This is why this brand problem is so bad. Like, did any of you guys have a reaction when you're listening to Kenzie's idea? Where you're like, yeah, that would have really did it for me a couple of years back. Did anybody else have that feeling? That's dead ass. Like, as I was reading it, that's how I was processing it. I was like, yeah, a couple of years ago, that really would have done it for me. Bro, do they even realize how bad it is? Like, I don't know. Tremblay says, Force Unleashed 3. Enough said. I mean, yeah. That'd be cool. Who really cares about Darth Bane? I mean, Darth Bane's awesome. The problem is, I think now, are Jedi and Sith even awesome? Like, they've eroded the brand so much that, like, I don't even know how cool it is anymore. Yo, is that shit even cool, bro? Is Star Wars cool? Or is Star Wars lame as shit? I don't know. Like, that's dead ass a question. I don't know. Is Star Wars lame as shit? Because the real truth is, Star Wars was always kind of lame. I loved it. But a lot of people were like, oh, you're into Star Wars? Okay. You know what I mean? Like, that was a thing. I don't know. The OT wasn't lame? Oh, no, there were people that thought the OT was lame. 100%. I mean, it was incredibly popular, so they were the minority opinion because Star Wars was a phenomenon. But yeah, for sure. There were people that thought it was lame. Always thought it was lame. You know, one of those people? Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford literally always thought the shit was lame. He would play nice sometimes. But he thought it was pretty fucking lame. You know what I mean? Like, the entire time. The OT is lame now? I hate the special editions. Oh, I mean, I don't know. I still love the OT, but I mean, I just think the damage is so bad. I think the damage is so bad, and I mean, it's something, man. It's something. It is something to see. It is something to see. What happened? A lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff happened. What happened to you? Are you okay? Do you need to talk about it? You can tell us. Nostalgia won't save Star Wars anymore. Yeah, I mean, that's one of their biggest problems. That's the death spiral that I was talking about. It's funny, about a week ago, we did a stream where I literally diagnosed and prescribed the solution for Star Wars. And then Star Wars had to just get worse. Like, all week, it was just like, let's just, like, do the opposite of that. Let's just make this even worse. So, yeah. I have hope, feeling my Star Wars mantra. I mean, that is a good one, and hope is a part of the actual lore and everything. So, yeah. 11 days until Agatha. She will save everything. Yeah. We don't ever this curse. Got a whiteboard and everything. Yeah, we're gonna do more whiteboard stories for sure. So 11 days till Agatha. Chat, where's our? Let's talk about Agatha a little bit. Can we talk about Agatha? Is it Agatha will save Star Wars? I mean, maybe. What is the topic? I mean, Rob, I was at a wedding this weekend, and my brain is operating at about 50%. The topic is... You want me to hit you up? Let's talk about Agatha. How about this? Rob, are you excited about Agatha? I actually have two things we could talk about if you want me to call you. We could talk about Agatha, and then we can talk about Noel in Venom 3. Are we having fun, chat? The topic is Warhammer. As often as I can get Josh to make a detour here. Hell yeah. All right, let's give Rob a call. Let us give Rob a call. Let me see here. Where are you at in here, bro? This dude, when you spend time away from your computer and you come back and it's like, what do I do with my hands? Okay, I got you, bro. Let's give Rob a call. See what he says. Oh, shit. Hang on. Rob! Uh-oh, I think he might be tweaking his audio.
Okay, can you hear me?
I gotcha. Let me turn you up a little bit, but I gotcha. What's up, brother?
Okay, not too much, but yeah, I have the Apollo Twin Thunderbolt. So whenever I have my speakers on, I have to switch the input, and I always forget to switch it whenever I take a phone call.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Tell you something, man, dude. Let me tell you something, bro.
Hit me.
I can't tell you how many episodes when myself, Benny, and Sal did the weekly poll like years ago. I can't tell you how many episodes where we had no topic, and like we just managed to find a way to just bullshit for 2 hours.
Yeah, dude.
I am the master of just bullshitting for like an hour or 2 hours. Look, here's the okay. So
Well, that's perfect. You saved my ass today. Woo!
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be on for an hour because the Apple event starts in an hour.
Okay,
I'm trying to get that new iPhone, son.
Oh shit!
But,
okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So, so Agatha.
Yeah, hit me. What are your thoughts?
All right, so there's not going to be a gray area when it comes to Agatha, man. Like either it's going to be really cool or it's going to be trash. Like that's how the fans are going to see it.
Yeah.
Right. Nobody's going to walk away and it's going to be like, I mean, yeah, it's pretty decent. You know, I'd put it up there with like, you know, Loki. You know.
Yeah. No.
Loki's a terrible. Like I'd put it up there with a show that's just mid.
Yeah.
Right?
They're not going to do that. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. I don't. But having said that, there's a few things that I think they're doing, and it's strictly because of fan service, and I think in some ways it's too little, too late. Like Mephisto.
Yeah.
Right. Like Mephisto's cool. And depending, here's the thing. Like this show has chat. People in the chat. This show has a lot of potential for the show. The plot itself just kind of be mid at best, but to have all kinds of call outs and to do some dope stuff.
True.
Right?
True.
Like Josh, you know this, right? The whole idea of like
the Demiurge and all that.
Demiurge, yeah. Cynthia Von Doom selling her soul to Mephisto.
Do you think they're gonna do anything like that? Because I mean they could, but I don't know how much the show even reshot. I think it had like 1 day of reshoots, so I don't know. Do you think they're gonna do any Cynthia stuff?
No, I mean, well, if they do, it might just like you'll just see her soul over there, right? Or it might just be some kind of hand wavy thing that like Mephisto makes or something like that. But it has the potential to be really cool and to offer all kinds of insights into like the bigger picture of Marvel. The biggest problem that Marvel Studios has, and I think Eternals is what really showed this, is they have a tendency to do world building and then never follow it up, never do anything with it, and never find a way to make it fit. Yeah. Right. It's just somebody's just like, so in the early days of Earth, there were elder gods, and like that's where you get Chthon. And it's like, cool. And then it never gets talked about. Right. Ever again. Right. So you're telling me like these god like Chthon and oh my God, Gaia. Actually, are you reading Thor? Are you reading the
Dude,
Thor run
no,
right now?
I saw your video and I decided not to watch it just because I was like, this sounds really cool. So I wanna kind of check it out. But you can go ahead and tell me a little bit about it. He took out some entities. Is he like celestial level now or what?
No. Okay, so basically it's Marvel kind of reworking the Elder God era of Earth. Right?
Does it have any connection to gods or no?
No, not to gods. Okay. I mean, it does insofar as there's a point. I think in the recent run when they go to find the grandfather of Thor. Okay. No, the grandfather of Odin, I think it is. Okay. And they end up accessing like one of those Cubus core boxes, the Beyonders box. Right. No, the Skinner box. That's what it is. Yeah. The Skinner box from the Beyonder. Like they end up going through one of those in order to like find this guy somewhere. That's cool. But for those of you guys who aren't familiar with like Earth in Marvel Comics, so in the very early days, and when I say early days, I mean like really before even humans were a thing, and then around the time that humans were a thing, you had elder gods, and the way that Roy Thomas did it way back in the day, I think it was Roy Thomas, is that he established that like these elder gods were just kind of the primordial beings of Earth. And then over time, being led by guys like Chthon, they basically gave into like degeneracy, right? So they just existed, and then Chthon basically drove them to villainy. Between like Chthon and like Set, the serpent god, drove them to villainy, and they literally started consuming each other and destroying each other. Gotcha. And so what ended up happening is Gaia, who's basically like Mother Earth, right? Like Whoopi Goldberg from Captain Planet. That's basically who she is. Yeah. Like she ends up meeting with the Demiurge, I think it is. Yeah. and then gets herself impregnated with a tomb. The order always throws me off. But basically, like I think it's a tomb that basically comes along and starts wiping out all the elder gods. And those who survive, right, Chthon and Sidorak and so on, they flee to their own dimensions.
Right.
And they left artifacts back on Earth. So that's why Chthon, for example, left manuscripts and ways to write the
Darkhold, right?
The Darkhold, yeah. Found ways to write the Darkhold on Earth, so that people who just started messing with the Darkhold wouldn't know that they were turning themselves into a vessel for Chthon.
Right.
That's why his essence reached out and touched Wanda when she was born in Wundagore Mountain. The Serpent Crown, right? Like, that's why that whole story arc happened in the old Serpent Crown affair from Marvel 2-in-1, which went into the Fantastic Four stories from back in the day. Because the individuals who possess it basically become a host for Set, and they don't know it.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about this, right, and the reason why I bring all that up is because all that stuff's only ever really explored when you're talking about the magical side of Marvel. Right? So when you're talking about, you know, Jericho Drum, Brother Voodoo, when you're talking about Agatha Harkness, when you're talking about all that kind of stuff. The other reason why I say that, and it depends on where they decide to go with this. So if you go and you read, and maybe I'll do a reading order on this on the channel one day, but if you go and you read a lot of the old stories for Agatha,
yes,
and you go through like her quote unquote origin, you find out that Agatha was around 500 years before the Great Cataclysm, which was when the Celestials showed up in the second host. They were attacked by the Deviants and they sunk Atlantis. So like she's been around for at least almost 20,000 years.
Dang,
at
okay.
this point. Yeah, she's astronomically old. So there's a lot of stuff that she's seen and experienced over the course of her life. Now, that's the comic book version.
Sure.
Right. We don't know how far reaching the show is going to go. And so I say all that to say, depending on what they do in the show, there's a lot of stuff that they could pull out of the woodwork, right? If ever there were a time when Marvel wanted to sit down and, at least for the fan base, give us some kind of context in terms of how far reaching magic goes, how deep it goes, and how much history is involved in Earth itself, it would be in Agatha Harkness.
Sure.
It would be in this show. The only issue you run into is, I mean, sure, this is a franchise with a giant green rage monster and a dude with a wrinkly chin and yada, yada, yada. But are they really going to go in the realm of like, once upon a time, demons existed on Earth, and then they went to their own dimensions?
It's interesting, but because Chthon has been name dropped, right? In the MCU?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and Doctor Strange too. Yeah, there was a lot of mention.
Yeah, so I think, you know, like I kind of wonder about that stuff too, because look, I think from the comic perspective, it builds out in its own little places, and then there's crossover. But with Marvel, the movies, they want them to be a little bit more fit together. So it would be interesting to know, like, are they going to go that route? Because I have like questions about how they're even going to do like Doom and him, you know, basically figuring out how to get godlike power, because it seemed like they were going to do something with Kang that, and it's like, okay, well, they did change their mind, because there's a lot of ways for Doom to get godlike power, and the anchor beings seem like this totally random thing that's like a whole new like Marvel thing, and maybe it's like the Molecule Man, so that maybe he's gonna do something like that. But yeah, it would be interesting if Agatha in this show kind of set up some of what could potentially then be used with Doctor Doom. I have a question for you though. What's up with Franklin Richards and Agatha Harkness? I know they've had some experiences together. Do you know anything about that?
There's nothing significant there. So everybody always asks about that.
Yeah.
What's the relevance between them? No. So if you go through the reading order, you get Agatha Harkness's origins.
Okay.
Then you go into the Fantastic Four, which is where she was technically introduced.
Yeah.
In the Fantastic Four comics, Agatha's just there, and she's just a nanny for Franklin.
Yeah.
There are a few instances. Yeah. I mean, there are a few instances where it's just kind of like, this kid is godly powerful. I do want to say, that there are some stories where Agatha wasn't there. Either she wasn't there or she wasn't the nanny at that point in time.
Okay.
Oh my God. What? Actually, hold on. Because I'm pretty sure I have the reading order written out somewhere. Because she officially came on. Yeah. So she didn't appear in the Fantastic Four. No, her origin didn't come out until 185. Yeah, so there is a story in the Fantastic Four. No, 94 is when she was introduced. Yeah, there's a story in the Fantastic Four where Franklin ages himself up to an adult.
Yes.
Subconsciously. And he does it because he's like Franklin's just like playing around with the Rubik's Cube. He's getting frustrated by it. He doesn't really understand the nature of his powers. And there's like some commercial that literally comes on in the background. And it's like, when are you going to grow up? Or something like that. He just ages himself up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like Susan Storm comes home and like he's crushed the Fantastic Four. And so Reed Richards put mental blocks in his head. But I want to say that's like 145 or something along those lines. But Agatha's time in the Fantastic Four, it really just kind of went from like 94 to 141. And then she comes back, because after 141, that's when Agatha becomes the Agatha you think of, because there's literally a story in Fantastic Four 150, I think, where there's like some kind of crazy circumstance, or I don't remember exactly what the event is. So basically the Avengers and everybody come back, and then Agatha meets Wanda.
Okay.
And just like in the first encounter, she's like, there's something incredible about you.
Okay.
Right? Like, I don't know what it is, but there's something about you. You're meant for a greater destiny. And so she leaves and she goes and joins the Avengers. And what's really interesting is when she does that, it actually coincides with the Celestial Madonna story arc. So where you have like Kang and Immortus and all that kind of stuff, and Mantis and everything. And despite all of that, Agatha's just training Wanda essentially on like how to use her powers. You don't really get like a montage, right? So there's no like hearts on fire and Wanda's like moving stuff, there's no like Rocky soundtrack or anything. But there comes a point when Agatha's like, I've taught you everything that you can know, everything that I can teach you. And then she leaves and goes back to the Fantastic Four. And then at that point, that's where Wanda just starts doing crazy stuff in Marvel Comics. But Agatha's, that's one of the misconceptions that people have, with the exception of the quote unquote final training session, when Wanda faces off against Dormammu to free Vision and then defeats Dormammu and leaves with Vision, which kicks off the second run, I think, of Vision and Scarlet Witch, the 12-issue maxi series.
Okay.
With the exception of like her training with Wanda, Agatha doesn't really have much going on.
Right.
There is like the story of her son Scratch, Nicholas Scratch, and she goes against like I don't remember what they were called, but it was like, I think it was like Salem 7, I think is what they were called. But it was like Nicholas Scratch's kids. Yeah, like Nicholas Scratch had some kids, and they range from like half mutants, half humans, all that kind of stuff. But basically, they get their, they get powers and so on and so forth, and they fight Agatha. But the coolest thing about Agatha is, in a lot of ways, she's very Tony Stark-like.
Okay.
In the MCU, not insofar as
she's not
I don't know if
building
Tony
shit.
Stark's the best example, but yeah, not in so far. I don't know if Tony Stark is the best example. The bigger point that I'm making here, though, is that you can kind of do anything you want with her.
Okay.
Right. Like, as long as you keep intact that she trained Wanda on how to use her powers, which she was kind of doing in WandaVision.
Yeah, for sure.
Sort of manipulating her behind the scenes. It wasn't really the way it was done in the comic, but as long as you have that involvement between the two of them, and Wanda attains a higher level of power because of Agatha, that's all you really need. Right? That's really all you really have to have. Everything else, you can just kind of do whatever you want to do. And so, because she's been around for so long, like in the comics, she knew who Merlin was. Let's see. Oh my God, I can never remember her name.
Morgan?
No, not Morgan Le Fay. I mean, sure, she was familiar with Morgan Le Fay.
Yeah.
But oh my God, she was that super old mutant. Her name starts with an S. She's the one that absorbs people's life force. She was like the first external mutant.
Oh, dude,
oh my God, chat, help me out
with
here,
the S,
guys.
dude. Nobody's gonna. If somebody knows this, that's crazy. I don't know.
Oh my God, she was part of the Ex Necrotia storyline in Marvel in the mid 2000s.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
No, not Cersei. It starts with an S. Oh my God, chat. Oh, what is her name?
Somebody'll get it.
Yeah,
I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea.
Celine, thank you.
Celine,
yes,
okay.
Brutal Bear 64. Got it. Celine. Thank you. Yes. She knew who Celine was, like that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a super unnecessarily long-winded way of saying, depending on how they want to handle her character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, her show will have its own plot, but there's potentially a lot of world building they could do behind the scenes.
And that's exactly what I'm looking for. Because here's the thing, like, I think you can tell just from the marketing, and I could certainly tell from things I was being told about the show before, because this thing wrapped like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Like it was supposed to come out a lot sooner, but it just doesn't seem like it's as fun of a show as like Daredevil Born Again, right? Like Daredevil Born Again, that's my shit, bro. You got Daredevil Punisher, you got Kingpin, you got Muse, like that seems badass. Agatha waking up from the spell. She's hanging out with Wiccan, but he's aged up and maybe it's not even his body. They're maybe looking for Wanda. And then you've got a bunch of other witches there. And then it has the vibe of like a corny ass CW or I don't even know, like the network. It frankly has a vibe that like I'm honestly not feeling. Now, having said that, there are interesting things in there, like stuff you were talking about: Agatha, magic, technology, the Demiurge, the Witch's Road, the potential to bring back Wanda, which I think is something they're going to play with. But yeah, I mean, I guess, like, what do you think they're going to do with Wiccan? And what do you think they will do, if anything, with Wanda and the Witch's Road? Because the rumor is that Wanda, after Multiverse of Madness, she doesn't die, but she goes to the Witch's Road, which is, I think, like a dimension, almost like the Dark Dimension or something, or the White Hot Room or something. And I'm not familiar. I didn't read the Witch's Road run or whatever they're doing. But I love Wanda. I love magic. We're doing Doctor Doom with magic and technology. So, I mean, like, what is the Demiurge exactly? And, like, can you explain that to us?
Yeah. Okay. So the Witch's Road, that was basically, are you familiar with, like, the Speed Force?
Yes.
From the Flash?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Think of that for sorcerers and magicians.
Oh, okay.
And that's what the Witch's Road is. Yeah, it's almost like a way station, right? It's a place where, like, only people who are practitioners of magic can go to.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it. So most likely, if they're going to invoke the idea of the Witch's Road, then literally it's going to be like when Thanos appeared after he snapped, and he's just like in this huge ethereal place.
Okay, cool.
And like it's going to be something akin to that, right? Where like time has no meaning, right? So as far as Wanda's there, she's been there for a moment, right? And when in reality, like years have passed in the real world or something like that.
Okay,
who knows? I don't know how they're going to handle it. But as far as the Demiurge goes, yeah, so it's a little meta commentary, or a little metatextual and whatnot. But basically, the sentience of Earth's biosphere, basically, like, if all life on Earth as a concept could get up and walk around, it would be the Demiurge. That is, it's like think of it like eternity, but on a smaller scale.
Okay.
And representing life on Earth.
And isn't it something to do with how magic works? Because I remember there's a moment where I think he's talking to Loki, and I think Loki's explaining that the Demiurge gets to remap how magic even works. And then didn't the guy you really like a lot, does a lot of the cosmics, Al Ewing, didn't he make it so America's parents were running from the Demiurge, America Chavez's parents? I remembered something like that where they were like,
was it?
Yeah, and it might have been in one of the it was in that one storyline that I think you were talking about with Blue Marvel, where they're I forget, they're dealing with something outer versal. I mean, Ewing loves that kind of stuff, but I'm pretty sure they made it so the Demiurge was the thing that was chasing America Chavez's parents when they died. Let me double check that real quick.
Okay, well, so the Demiurge of what you're talking about. So there was a few different issues that Marvel ran into with regard to the concept of the Demiurge. Yeah, so initially, way back when, before Thor, right, like Thor number 5, I don't remember if it was Immortal Thor number 5 or whatever it was. There was simply just the Demiurge, right? And that was it. The idea behind the Demiurge is that all life on Earth exists because of the Demiurge. More recently, Marvel changed that, and they said, well, actually, there was the progenitor celestial that crash landed on Earth and created all life. And then Marvel came along with the idea of the Demiurge, and they said, actually, it's a title held by beings, right? Like, there was the Demiurge at one point, which is called the Demiurge Primordial. And then now it's just like this person is the demiurge for right now. And then they will die by whatever manner and whatever means. And then like a new person will become the demiurge. And then like a new person after that, and so on and so forth until either the end of Earth or the end of the universe or what have you. The only important thing outside of the concept, like the only thing that really matters is I'm not familiar with how the demiurge controls and manipulates magic. I just know that the demiurge as a being is astronomically powerful.
Right.
It's not the most powerful thing to ever exist, but it's
super powerful. It caught the attention of a lot of like pretty high profile people. So I'm on Marvel.com right here, and it says in America, Chavez is whatever they call it, with the ability to create cross-dimensional portals, the superhuman strength and fight. America Chavez comes to believe she's a powerful that originates from the utopian parallel, a realm outside conventional time and space, formed from the unbinding of magic from the multidimensional messiah, the demiurge. So something happened.
Okay, well then that's yeah. I didn't read too deeply into America Chavez's story. One, because I didn't give a shit if we're being honest.
Yeah. I didn't either until they put her in Multiverse of Madness, and then I'm like, okay, they're cooking something.
It was overly forgettable. And two, I'm pretty sure they changed that.
They might have,
like,
bro.
I'm pretty sure
they might have. I don't know. This is all probably less than 10 years old. These stories, like maybe less than 5. I don't know. You know. So I don't really know.
But no, the demiurges, I'm aware of it. With Wiccan, for example, like Wiccan is what's called the demiurge to be, right, or the demiurge to come, rather. Okay. Basically, like this kid's going to become astronomically powerful at some point. We don't know when, because Marvel hasn't got around to deciding it yet. But like when that happens, this kid is gonna. I mean, he's already crazy powerful. But I mean, because of the nature of how they shifted what the demiurge is and what it stands for, it's really more akin that it's just a title now. Right, to just say like among the various pantheon of gods that exist on Earth, this guy's like the most powerful. But that's where things get finicky, because Marvel has done so many things over the years. There's so many things that conflict everything else. Like there's stories out there, for example, that say that all life in the universe exists because of Odin. Right, there's stories that say that like Odin came into existence after everything else came into existence.
And then there's like the difference between the Celestial and the Beyonder, like which came first? Because I know Ewing was like retconning some stuff, and then even like Jim Starlin will randomly come in and like retcon stuff too. So yeah, they've done a lot. But wasn't Gods supposed to kind of clean the slate and kind of figure that out?
Yeah, but it didn't.
Yeah, but it didn't.
all it did, and it just focused more on the cosmic entity. So there is a kind of hierarchy to a degree, right? So every planet and every civilization on Earth, or I'm sorry, in the universe, has its own gods, right? So the Skrulls, for example, have the goofiest names, right? They have Klibbin and Sluggert is what they're called. The Shi'ar have Shara and Kithri. And Earth doesn't really have any two particular gods, which is designed to kind of show the sort of fractured nature of Earth as an entire civilization. But instead, we have the Sky Fathers. Right. So Odin, Zeus, yada, yada, so on and so forth. But those are all considered what are called new gods, right? Which, despite how old they are, the name new gods is given to them because of how recently humanity began to worship them. In comparison to the elder gods that came before. And that's where you get Chthon and all those. Now, what Al Ewing's doing right now in Immortal Thor is he's changing it around so that what you have is, yes, you had the elder gods, but then you also had what was basically Utgard Loki. And it's kind of weird because there's like the ones who sit above in shadow. I don't know if you're familiar with them from Thor Disassembled. Pre-Secret Wars. Supposedly this is them, but we don't know for sure.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And that's in the new Ewing Thor books, huh?
Yeah, that's in the Thor run going on right now.
Cool. I have to check that out.
The only thing that really matters here is that at some point when the elder gods were being obliterated by the demiurge by a tomb before a tomb became the demigorge, or when it became the demigorge rather, is that these different elder gods flew to different places. They traveled to different places. So Chthon went to the oh my god, what was the name of Chthon's the Dark Dimension? No, not Dark Dimension. That was Dormammu. Anyway, Chthon went to his own realm. Sidorak went to the Crimson Dimension, so on and so forth. Utgard Thor, Utgard Loki, and I think there's a third one. They all ended up just like traveling as a group to a place because they felt like there was safety in numbers, and they've been there this entire time. And for reasons that haven't been explained, Gaia just let them all loose, and we don't really know why. That story's still being fleshed out to a degree.
Gotcha.
It's why Thor absorbed the powers of Zeus, and why Thor now has Zeus's powers combined with the Odin Force. But no, I mean, we're like getting wildly off track from Agatha.
Yeah, no, but like, all this stuff's so cool, and it's like cooler than like really Agatha being cheeky. Really, like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Oh, it's one of the things that I thought, and it's one of the, I think it's one of the things that shows how terrible Marvel is when it comes to planning. Because like if like Kevin Feige was like, okay, so like we're retiring, he's like, I'm done.
Yeah,
like I'm finished, walking away for whatever reason, right? He just leaves. And Bob Iger is like, okay, Rob from Comics Explained, this YouTube channel that I would never have a reason to watch in my entire existence. I have been watching you, and I have decided that you should become the new Kevin Feige, or at least a guy who plans things.
Yeah.
What do you do? Assuming that we were rebooting, right? Like, you would have to plan a huge amount in advance to account for all the different things. But you'd also have to be able to plan in such a way to where you can adjust on the fly if you need to.
100%.
Which is why I think having shows like Marvel 2-in-1, Marvel Presents is cool, because you can tease characters. If no one cares, you haven't devoted $200-something million to a She-Hulk show that ultimately fails and doesn't get a second season. And so,
True.
I would do like a lot of world building.
Yeah.
Right. If I were Marvel, like I would literally have like like a series that's just animated, right? Because you can do a lot more with animation than you can with real life, and it's a lot cheaper than how expensive CGI can be.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's just like Tales from Tales from Marvel, right? Or Tales from the Marvel Universe, or whatever it is. But all it is them just saying like, this is what Earth was like in the very early days, right? Yeah. The Elder Gods. This is how Asgard came into existence, right? This is how all this stuff evolved, and so on and so forth. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Right. That's exactly what I would have done.
Yeah, and they have great comic precedents to like build it. And the thing is, too,
I am Maurice.
and the thing is, they could change it how they want it as long as it's consistent, right? So like they could take some of the ideas and be like, okay, well, this is how they're doing it in the comics, and this is what we've set up in the prior stuff, so this is how we could fit it together. I think science and magic, or maybe technology and magic, has always been something really important to Marvel Comics and something really important to what they're building in the MCU, which is why like Doom is the perfect villain to figure that out. But there is a lot going on. I mean, even like Tao Lao and like, those other realms and, accessing. I'm just so fucking confused. Like, if you were to ask me right now to like dead ass explain, like, how do the actual Marvel universes work? What's up with the multiverse? Like, how does this? I don't even know. I don't even know if I could tell you like for instance, do you think there's
it's super simple.
Well, do you think, Rob, that there's one quantum realm for the entire Marvel multiverse, or are there multiple quantum realms? Let's start with that question.
So I would say there's one, and only because of what Kang was saying, in the sense that he was saying like, I was exiled by the council to this place.
Correct. That is true. But when referred to in Loki season 2 at the end, he said they call it 616 adjacent.
And that's the other thing. I don't know, because it depends on how. I mean, hold on. So what's the nature of what does adjacent mean? That's
like next to,
next to or something else. Okay, cool. So that doesn't mean anything. Because in Marvel Comics, right, you have the negative zone.
Yes.
Right, but there's only one negative zone in the entire multiverse.
Okay.
And any universe can access it. Right. There was a really, really cool story. Well, not really cool, but there was a story involving the Sentry called Annihilation Scourge.
Okay.
And what ended up happening is that the Sentry ended up there, right? It doesn't really matter. But the the negative zone was being overrun by the forces of the Cancerverse from Thanos and Paris.
Okay, now wait a minute. And they're different? The Cancerverse and the negative zone are different?
Yes. Okay, you know what? Multiverse 101. Okay, guys. So when it comes to the multiverse of Marvel Comics, right? When it comes to the multiverse of Marvel Comics, and I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe may do this, universes only exist, they only come into existence in one of two ways. Either they have always existed, or they branch off, right? So like in the case of the Ultimate Universe has always existed. right? Marvel doesn't really do a whole lot to explain it, but it's just kind of like when the multiverse formed,
Yes.
right? There were just a handful of universes that
You talk
came
about
into existence.
1610, not the new Ultimates universe?
I mean, it's more or less the same thing at this point, right? But
Is it?
I guess 6160 is being turned into 1610. That's the hope. But, you know, in name only, right? Like, yeah, they're effectively the same.
Mm-hmm.
What they do is they say, okay, and you can go all the way back to the first firmament, whatever, shattering into you know, whatever, and then it gives us. But the point is that, like, over the years and eons or whatever in Marvel, the multiverse has been destroyed and recreated several times over.
Yeah, it's up to 8,
for
right?
any number
The new
of
one
reasons.
is 8, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. But before that, so you remember the Dweller in Darkness from
Yes.
Shang-Chi?
Yeah.
So in Marvel Comics, the Dweller in Darkness is a Fear Lord, I think.
Yes,
and I
yes,
think
I
it's
think
the most
so.
powerful of the Fear Lords. Yeah,
Yes.
I think the Dweller in Darkness is the most powerful of the Fear Lords. So right now, Marvel calls it the 8th Cosmos.
Yes.
Before Secret Wars 2015, it was the 7th Cosmos. The 6th Cosmos, or the 6th Multiverse, saw the Dweller in Darkness basically fracturing the Unicron crystal. Imagine somebody created a black hole that threatened to suck in the multiverse, and that's what happened.
Okay, cool.
It did, right? And then it created a big bang and blew up with the new multiverse, and that's where you get Galactus and so on and so forth. But the multiverse has been created and destroyed. What Marvel establishes is that some universes out there, like Earth 98, or like the Ultimate Universe, or something like that, or even like Earth X, I imagine. I don't know if that's specifically the case. But that what basically happens is when the multiverse comes into existence, there are some universes that come into existence with it.
Okay.
Earth 1610 is an example of that. Then there are universes that only exist because they branch off. What if Spider-Man never got rid of the Venom symbiote? What if Bruce Banner never became the Hulk?
Okay.
What if Thor never found his hammer? Right? Like, that's how those come into existence. Right? So
is that why it's the sacred timeline? Is the sacred one like the first one and everything else branches?
What do you mean?
Well, they call it the sacred timeline.
When you say sacred, are you talking about the comics or the
No.
MCU?
I'm talking about the MCU. I'm just saying, like, if that's how it works in the comics, then maybe that's why they call it the sacred timeline. Because if everything else branches off of that, maybe that's what they're doing.
No, they called it the sacred timeline because that's what He Who Remains called it.
Yeah, but why is it sacred?
Because okay.
Like,
It's basically
it's
an
probably
idea
his
that
prime
starts
universe,
off with
right?
a name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's what starts off with a name, and then it's a name they keep in order to make sure that people understand it and recognize the familiarity. For example, Earth 616 in Marvel Comics, that was just a number given to the main Marvel universe in an old Captain Britain comic. Like,
oh, really? Wow,
literally, it was
that's
just
cool.
it was like Alan Moore and Alan Davis or something like that. Like, Celine's just walking through a room, you know, and she's like, and this is Earth 616, right, which is the main Marvel universe, and like that's it. And ever since then, like, it's been Earth 616.
Nice.
That's how it got the number. You know, otherwise, I imagine they would just do what DC did, just call it like Earth Zero or Earth Prime or something along those lines. So it's just a hand wavy thing.
Yeah.
And what it looks like here in the MCU is that it started off with, well, this is the sacred timeline as it's established in Loki. And it is just all the universes that will lead to He Who Remains and no other version of Kang. And so that's what makes it sacred, right? Because, like, we literally meticulously prune and we take care of this universe.
Yeah, I guess for him it's sacred because that's like what leads to him. So he has to keep it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I imagine that when it comes to characters like the Ancient One calling it the sacred timeline, treat it in the same vein that they call it like 616 or something along those lines. One, because sacred just sounds cooler, right?
It does sound pretty cool.
It's special, you know, and it's necessary, as opposed to like just some numerical designation, right? Because then fans will find themselves asking, what about like the other, 615 universes, you know, like you know, and it throws things off. So
yeah. Yeah, I think that's I think that's gonna be cool. I don't know, bro. Like, for Agatha, for me, like, I just want it to be kind of fun, not too cringe that I can't continue to watch it. And if they drop in some cool Easter egg stuff and they talk more about the Demiurge, and then I do think Wanda is going to be connected to what they're doing with Doom or what they're doing with the multiverse in general. Like, I think she's still going to be pretty important to that. So if it leads to like the Witch's Road and there's some kind of explanation of, you know, what magic is that maybe gives us insight into Doom, I would be excited for it. But other than that, I don't know. I don't know, bro. My wife's making me watch it, Rob. That's the truth.
Dude, I'll be honest, man. I don't even know why they're making Agatha.
Yeah, I don't know if they know.
I guess because it was already slated and everything. And
well, I think back in the day, WandaVision was a huge show. I mean, it won some Emmys, I think, and like it was huge when it first came out. But that was literally 4 years ago, bro. You know what I mean?
Well,
like
it was also the story of Wanda and like her dealing with grief. Like,
it was also their very first show. Like there was a lot that kind of popped that up. Yeah. So I don't know. I just think they thought it was maybe a bigger deal than it was because they're doing a whole branch of the MCU about Wanda in these shows now. It seems so.
Well, I think Wanda as a character was really cool, but I mean, yeah, there were a lot of things that were really that made Wanda, because like if WandaVision came out now, and let's say by whatever manner and whatever means, there was a reason to make it.
Yeah.
Right. So you weren't left asking the question like, why are they doing it now? Why didn't they do it like however many years ago? There's a reason for us to have the show. I don't think it would perform nearly as well as it did back then.
Sure.
Because number one, you're right. It was their first show. A lot of people watched it because they were curious about it. But there was also do you remember after the first 2 episodes, there was a massive drop off. And then it came back towards the end. But I remember that being a huge talking point. Like there was a big drop off. Because people saw the first two episodes, they were in black and white. People were like, I'm not feeling this. I don't want to watch some Nick at Night type thing. Yeah. You know, and then like once word of mouth got around about how much cooler it was getting, that people kind of got back on and started watching it again. But the other part is it came right off the heels of Infinity War and Avengers Endgame.
True.
Right. So people were excited about that.
Yep.
And it was also exploring the story of Wanda, just for those individuals who watched it. And it was such a personal and cerebral story. If you were able to like take a step back and look at it for what it was such a personal and cerebral story for the character of Wanda. Yeah. And it was immensely fascinating. Right. And
I like WandaVision. I didn't like the finale, but I mean, I liked the show. Like I was like, yeah, this is cool. And I like a lot of the stuff they're sort of dealing with here. I guess it'll just be interesting to see if they, if any of those vibes will carry over into the new one. I like Catherine Hahn. Like I like Aubrey Plaza. Like I like these actresses. I'm just still not sold on like the vibe. You know what I mean? So I don't know what I'm gonna watch it. I'll probably talk about it on stream. I don't know if I'll do videos unless something big's revealed or they do some crazy demiurge shit. But yeah, we'll see. It just feels like kind of a show we got to get through to get to the better stuff. To be honest.
That's why I say. I mean, there's all just. With my knowledge of comics, there's any number of roads that can take. A lot more are far-fetched and impractical than others, right? I mean, with the use of magic, for example, right? Like, I mean, once you start getting into the realm of magic, you start getting into Merlin. True. Right? So I wouldn't be surprised if they dropped if Merlin's name is dropped in this show. Okay, cool. Well, there's your Otherworld, right? So like there's Otherworld may very well exist out there. There's all the stuff that goes into that. There's Roma that gets tied into all of that. There is the Crooked World with Jim Jaspers and all that. I mean, just all those things.
That'd be fun.
Based off of Merlin, just that character, right? There's your motivation behind Captain Britain, right? The sword of what is it? The Amulet of Right and the Sword of Might. Right, like there's that. Like that's if they even choose to invoke his character, right? It could just be one of those things where it's like Harry Potter, Merlin's word, and like that's
yeah. I mean, they've done that before too, so it'll be hard to say how they're gonna do it.
Yeah, it'll be hard to say. But the other cool thing though is with them dropping Mephisto, that starts bringing in your heavy hitters, right? That starts bringing in your Fear Lords, your Nightmare Lords, your Hell Lords. All that kind of stuff. Yeah. That's where things would get really, really cool. Because honestly, even in Marvel Comics, it's a part that's not really tapped on. And with the character of Nightmare, for example, people sleep on how powerful Nightmare is. True. Like there's this really, really cool story. It's Marvel, I think it's Marvel Overture. I can't remember. But it's drawn by Alex Ross. I don't remember who it was that wrote it. But Nightmare puts the universe, I think it's the universe. Like he puts the universe to sleep. and feeds on his power. And then he becomes the most powerful being in existence, like more powerful than like the living tribunal. Like it's nuts how powerful he becomes. And it ends up coming down to like Doctor Strange and a handful of others in order to defeat him. But Nightmare is a wildly fascinating character.
Hell yeah, dude. I know
again,
that they've wanted, they've had plans with Nightmare before. Like I think they were thinking about him in Multiverse of Madness. This was before Scott Derrickson left the project. I'm pretty sure he wanted to do Nightmare, but yeah, Nightmare would be sick, dude. Like you said, there's a lot of possibilities there, man. You know, we'll see what they do. Yeah. I want to talk about Noel before you go, though. Can we talk about Noel?
Noel the Symbiote God?
Yeah.
Yeah, Noel the Symbiote God is probably on his way.
Bro, that's okay. So when that trailer first came out, the first Venom trailer, like a lot of my chat, they don't like the Sony stuff. They don't like what they're doing over there. They don't even like Venom. I mean, frankly, Rob, they don't even like me.
Most people don't.
Yeah.
They don't like you.
Yeah. I like Venom. I kind of have a soft spot for the movies. I like what they're doing there. And so I remember we did that trailer reaction. There was a bunch of people saying like, Noel's coming. I was like, I don't see it. But then Donnie Cates said something about it. And then some of the insiders have started hinting. Like some really good insiders and leakers are like hinting at Noel. So, I mean, yeah, talk us through that. Like, what do you think's going on in Venom 3 with Noel? And why are they going to introduce Venom in the last fucking Venom movie? Like, what are the Noel?
Okay. You know what? Let me tell you something right off the bat.
Okay.
I told people years ago that Noel was coming to. I told people when Spider-Man No Way Home came out.
Wow.
That Noel was in the multiverse and Noel was coming, and nobody wanted to believe me. In fact, I think I have a video on Geek Culture Explained that talks about that.
Wow,
how Noel is coming, and people ask, how do you know? And I said, okay, like the way that it worked with Noel is that symbiotes share a hive mind, right? Like Noel predates the current universe, right? He originated in the void of all existence.
Yeah. He's old. He was like this 5th or 6th version of the Cosmos or something.
Something like that. Yeah, he was before the 6th or 7th. I don't. It all blends together.
Yeah.
But the important thing is like he is a facsimile of Oblivion, basically, right? Kind of like an avatar of Oblivion to a degree. And so all symbiotes across existence share a hive mind because of Noel, because Noel created them, right? Now, what happens at the very end of Spider-Man No Way Home?
The Venom symbiote drips off, and he goes back to their universe.
Yes. But then what also happens I think it's the post-credit scene for Doctor Strange 2, when Tom Hardy gets yanked into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah. So right before that, Venom is telling him that he has knowledge of billions of years and multiple universes, but it would melt his brain. So he's like, I'm not going to share that with you because it was melt your brain. And then they get zapped in.
Yeah, but then what else did he say?
I don't remember.
Spider-Man shows up on the TV and Venom says, I know that guy.
Yeah,
I know this guy. Right? Now, the only way the Venom symbiote does not know, has never encountered Spider-Man. Spider-Man doesn't exist in the Tom Hardy universe, the Venomverse.
Yep.
As far as we're aware. Unless he's just been there the whole time and Sony never bothered to show us, which would make no sense whatsoever.
But sounds like Sony, though, a little bit. Yeah.
It sounds like something Sony would do, yes. Yeah. But it would make no sense whatsoever. So the only way on the Sony side of things that Venom would know who Spider-Man was is if Venom had the information of, or if the Tom Hardy Venom had the information of Tobey Maguire's universe.
Yes.
When what's-his-name became Venom. Which right there, that connects the two of them. Cool. Shared hive mind. Well, the only way they share a hive mind like that is if, Topher Grace. The only way you share a hive mind like that is if you have Noel the Symbiote God.
True. Yeah.
It's the only way that works, right? Because Noel is the creator of the symbiotes. Now, in the trailer, there's a point where the symbiote says, "My race is coming."
Yeah. He's like, my homeworld. Yeah, they know.
Yeah,
they're found us,
exactly.
Which means they were looking for them. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, the way, and I don't know how much you know about Noel's history.
I know a fair bit. I mean, so he was in the darkness, and then the Celestials start like spreading the light, and he's like, I hate this fucking light. And then he ends up making the sword, right? And he cuts off one of their heads. And then he creates the symbiotes to try to spread like darkness and shit like that. but eventually he's captured inside Clintar, which that means cage, right? So the Clintar, I think there's a split or something, or maybe they just hate him. Like a lot of them hate him, and they end up just trapping him inside. Now he's also, because of the void, he's connected to like the opposite of the Enigma Force. Because I remember in King in Black, Eddie has the Enigma Force, and he kills Null with the Silver Surfer's thing as an axe with the Enigma Force, and it's all like golden and shit. I haven't read too much of the new stuff after that with like Eddie's son and like the garden at the end of time, because I know there's like,
oh, it's so cool.
Yeah,
it goes
like,
off the fucking rails.
I know
so cool.
like a little bit about it, and I was like, this sounds lit. I just haven't like poured over it myself. Yeah,
it is so dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what is, like, I won't go into all the stuff that's happening right now because that gets overly complicated. But yeah, so Null creates basically, like, he literally harnesses darkness, right, and creates the sword All Black, which is living darkness. The symbiotes are basically a physical manifestation of the All Black itself and of the living darkness.
Gotcha.
Yes, the garden at the end of time is destroyed now.
What?
It was destroyed by Carnage.
Spoilers.
Yeah, it was destroyed. It was destroyed by Carnage. Dude, it's. Let me tell you something, man. Dude, if you are not reading Venom right now, you have to start at the beginning, like after Donny Cates left, and pick up with the current. I think it's Al Ewing who's writing it. Pick up with the current run. You kind of have to like read from there forward. But if you read the current Venom run in its entirety, it's amazing, right? If you pick up with it right now, you're gonna be a lost ball in high weeds. Right? You're gonna be like, I mean, this is cool, but I'm confused as hell. I'm just gonna throw it on the ground and walk away. But yeah, so basically Null creates the symbiotes, and Null kind of treats the symbiotes as like a slave of, like, slaves of sorts, right? Like they do his bidding for him. Eventually they rebel against him, right? Like he's encased inside this world covered in symbiotes. And so the symbiotes are his jailers. As time progresses, he gains strength and then eventually breaks free, reharnesses the All Black and the symbiotes themselves, makes his way for Earth after defeating the Celestials, and that's when the events of King in Black kick off. But like in the Planet of the Symbiote story from Brian Michael Bendis and Guardians of the Galaxy back in the day, like that was kind of like the symbiotes come from a singular world.
Right.
And so where most people are drawing this conclusion of Null existing is they're just taking the extra step. And they're saying, yes, the symbiotes come from a home world, but in the core of this world is Null, right? And like that's
right.
Right.
That's when Agent Venom was with the Guardians, right?
Yes.
That shit was cool, man. I like Flash Thompson. Yeah, that was kind of fun. Yeah.
Flash Thompson's Venom was really, really cool. I don't know. I mean, the biggest gripe overall, and it really starts to, and I think this is why a lot of people, because I was talking to my sister, right? And my sister, she's not you, and she's not me. She's not like a super hardcore fan. She doesn't follow the movie stuff really, really close or anything like that. You know, she's just kind of like, you know, I watch the stuff and it's cool. And we were talking about I think it was X-Men 97. And she was like, you know, I might watch. No, I'm sorry. We were talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. And she was like, you know, I might check it out. And I was like, really? I was like, you're not really excited anymore? She's like, not really. And I was like, why? She's like, I don't really dig Marvel anymore. Because like she's the target audience for Marvel Studios.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like my sister's the person. They're not going after us.
Yeah, exactly. We're there. They need the people. Once removed from.
Yeah. They need folks like my sister. If for no other reason, because of just our brand and business.
Yeah.
We go and see that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? But we'd go and see it either way. But she's the target audience, and she's like, I'm just not really excited about Marvel anymore. And I was like, why? And she was like, it was really Phase 4.
yeah, dude.
And totally. I was like, was it? She's like, yeah. I mean, it is what really made, like, the stuff just wasn't really good. It just feels like it fell off. Like,
it did.
It feels like after Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, it just fell off. And I know that's anecdotal, and I know that people will take it, you know, at varying degrees of authenticity, right, depending on what they want to believe. But at the end of the day, like it's one of those things where it's just kind of like that. I think is where a lot of people are.
Yeah,
and I know that there's this kind of tendency now to like, you know, yeah, the MCU is trash. You know, let's talk bad about the MCU because it's what's popular, and we'll ride that train until it stops being popular. Like I get that there's that tendency out there to do that, but I think there's also some measure of truth. And I don't know if you've covered this on a stream. I don't know if it's something you're interested in talking about, but like with the rumors and whatnot, that there's like all this information coming out supposedly where it's like, actually there's trouble in paradise out there because apparently there's some issues with RDJ's team and Marvel Studios.
No,
and
I haven't heard
Marvel
anything
Studios
like
is
that.
like that. Yeah, like, well, it's one of those where, I mean, it's a person who tweeted out like, this is what I'm hearing, you know, so I mean, it happens all the time.
Yeah,
And I don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
I don't know how authentic it is. And
Yeah.
over time, right, like, but supposedly it's like there's issues going on behind the scenes with RDJ and what's happening right now in terms of like Marvel's plan and Doctor Doom. Marvel feels like they pulled the trigger too early, that there's issues behind the scenes in terms of like compensation or any number of things.
Sure. Yeah.
And they just can't really seem to come to an agreement with RDJ's team. A lot of people are speculating it's creative control. That Marvel has a plan B, which is to go back to Kang.
No way, brother.
And that and that the way it's supposedly happening is Marvel has like a week to figure it out. Again, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's a dude on Twitter
Yeah,
who
dude.
tweeted this. Yeah, I mean, you know, like for all we know, it's an iPhone in a bot farm in China somewhere, right? That's just putting out erroneous things that are written by ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Right? Like none of us know for sure. But the bigger point that I'm making here is because of people's views of the MCU, that gets a lot more
spread.
credence.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that story gets spread and it gets believed more than it used to.
That's
because
fair.
if this was 2 years, the 2 years leading up to like Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, and it's like, oh guys, there's trouble in Marvel Studios and they can't come to an agreement on Robert Downey Jr.'s compensation for and all that kind of stuff, people would be like, okay, whatever. Like no one would believe that. But now people have a reason to, because it feels like there's so much disorganization behind the scenes, and it feels like there's so much chaos, and even with the projects that are being put out there, right, like number one, Robert Downey Jr. being announced as Doctor Doom feels like a panic button thing, right?
Sure.
You know, it's like, oh my god, guys, the MCU is struggling, what do we do? It's Doctor Doom, Robert Downey Jr., right?
Hell
Boom, there you go, guys. And,
worked for me.
And people are just like, oh, this is awesome. And then 24 hours later, they're like, oh, I got post-nut clarity. Like, I don't know how I feel about this. You know, and so,
some of that.
There was a lot of that. There was a lot of PNC going around, you know, and so it's you know, it's kind of like, okay, like, you know, it's things like that. And it's like, okay, so like, we just got to like get to Secret Wars as fast as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Right. You know, and so like all these things are just, it all kind of feels just so rushed, right? They're just trying to get to the finish line as fast as possible so that they can just work on whatever comes next. And it doesn't sound like the worst idea, right? I mean, they're going to do what I think I and a lot of other people have been saying they're going to do, right? Like they're going to basically just Crisis on Infinite Earths, the MCU,
right?
I
think
with
so
Secret
too.
Wars.
Yeah,
they're just going to condense the multiverse down into one universe, call it, you know, new, you know, all new, all different Marvel or whatever, right? And that's what you get going for.
But yeah.
Yeah, don't call it that.
Hey,
not everything that came out of all new, all different Marvel was bad. Like Mark Waid's opening Avengers run was actually really amazing.
Was it pretty good?
Really
I vaguely remember it. I just remember a
Oh,
lot
it's
of
a-
stuff
it's a-
being
it's a
like,
Kang- Dude, it's a Kang story, and it did more to make
is this Mr.
sense
Griffin?
out of Kang the Conqueror. Do what?
was it Mr. Griffin or no?
What are you talking about?
There was a variant of Kang, Mr. Griffin, that's relatively recent, and I just didn't know if that's maybe what it was.
Oh, I don't remember if it was Mr. Griffin.
Let me look it up. Look it up. Yeah, all new, all
But
different.
yeah.
It was alright. There's some of it I liked.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. When was this guy introduced here? Does it say? It doesn't say. Where's his first appearance?
Mr. Griffin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, his first appearance was a long time ago. But the 616
Yeah.
version's very different.
I googled Mr. Griffin and it came up with Peter.
Yeah, that's kind of what I had too. But yeah, dude,
But, no,
Noel, that shit's gonna be sick.
Yeah. I think I mean, because here's the thing, and I don't know if this is what they're doing, and if it's not, they're completely screwing the pooch. The main focus on what Sony and Marvel should be doing is combining universes,
Mm.
right? And saying, okay, so we're just going to merge everything together. Obviously, Sony's never going to let go of Spider-Man.
Never.
Right. So just kind of be like, okay, fine. Like, if you guys are never going to let go of Spider-Man, let's reach some kind of financial deal, some creative deal to where we just combine everything into one universe. Right. Like, you get all the money or all the merch or however it is that you do from the Spider, and we get everything else from Spider-Man. Right. And like, that's it.
That'd be sick.
But the goal should, but like introducing a whole bunch of multiversal forces. Right, because when you have Doctor Doom operating on that level, where he manipulates all kinds of technology and power and so on. For example, Doctor Doom's time platform will likely come from the Kangs or originate with the Kangs.
Right.
Doctor Doom, who can bounce around through time. I mean, yeah, it's going to change the game.
Yeah.
So you're going to need as many heavy hitters as you can possibly get. I could see them using Null the Symbiote God as a way to unify what's basically the Venomverse.
Right.
Different versions of Venom from across the multiverse.
Yeah.
Led by Tom Hardy's Venom. Right.
Yep.
And then you have like the Spider-Verse, right, which is led by Tobey Maguire or Tom Holland, depending on which one they want to go with. Potentially Andrew Garfield, right? I mean, he's got to have his redemption story somehow.
Yep.
And then you have like the multiversal Avengers, you have the X-Men, you got the Council of Reeds, or whatever it is. There's a lot of ways you can do it. If I'm a betting man, Null will just end up being a thing that appears or is referenced, and nothing ever comes out of it, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. They'll probably just reference like the leader of the hive mind, or like they might say Null, like they might name drop him, but I don't know if they'll end up cooking beyond that. Hopefully they do, and if they had Marvel's help, I'd feel a lot better about it. There's like rumors that Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland might happen on Battle World now. It might be a Battle World movie, and if they really want to get so if they really want to have Tom Hardy Venom hanging out with the Spider Boys without Null, I don't think there's even a reason to. By the way, I think they're going to put Tom Holland in the symbiote suit for Secret Wars. So That's what
I've heard that, dude. Yeah. That would be dope.
So that's going to be really interesting. That could technically tie to Null and all that as well. So that could be cool.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, let me bounce off here, man. This Apple event starting.
All right,
but
brother.
Josh, was good talking to you, man.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks for calling, and get that iPhone, man.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, peace out, brother. Rob does not like America Chavez. You guys better clip that out and put that on the internet. You know what I mean? Yeah, everybody gives me shit. I'm over here defending America Chavez, okay? And Rob was so dismissive of the legacy of this like 3-year-old comic book character that was obviously made for modern sensibilities. But I was trying to be good. I was trying to be good boy. You know? Sheesh, Rob. Sheesh. Did you see Harloff talking about Tom Holland filming Spidey stuff right now? Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Here's something really interesting I just saw pop up on the timeline. Tom Hardy is in Vegas right now doing reshoots for Venom 3. You don't say. That could be wild. I think there could post-credit scene. Tom Holland scoots over to Vegas too. I don't know. Do you guys know that they shot stuff with Tom Holland for Venom 2? Or maybe it was Venom 1, bro. They shot it. And the reason I know this is because this was a scoop from back in the day from John Schnepp. May he rest in peace. Brilliant individual. Love that guy, man. I don't know if you guys remember John Schnepp, but I remember that was a big scoop that he had. They filmed something, and it was later confirmed because Marvel didn't like it, and they cut Tom Holland from it. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. John says, TH, Spidey, and symbiote suit. Oh, Tom Holland. Yeah, it'd be an interesting conflict with Toby, considering Toby has experience. Yeah, I remember a long time ago, I actually had a really cool idea for a scene where, like, Tom Holland Spider-Man runs into the Spider Boys on Battle World, and they immediately attack him because they're like, but not like, oh, we got to kill him, but it's more like, hey, what's up, man? But they see him in the symbiote suit, so maybe they like have an initial conflict, and then there's like a moment of explanation, and Tom's like, no, like I have this suit now, it's helping me. Toby's like, no, you got to get that suit off now. Andrew's like, whoa, let's be chill, and then conflict ensues. That would be really interesting for sure. Yeah, that'd be cool. Let me catch up on a couple chats that we had. while Rob and I were chatting here. Anthony says, "What's up, Josh? Have you ever watched Astartes?" Hell yeah, of course, bro. If not, it would be dope. We could watch it all on stream. We've watched it on stream together before. It's great. And potentially some rumors that Astartes and the creative team there is working on some other stuff. So that'd be cool. Rossi says, Rob, what do you think of rebooting Star Wars? RDJ as Vader? I'm sorry I missed that question when Rob was on. But I'm also not that sorry because that's embarrassing. That's an embarrassing question for our community. Kaylin says, I need Majors back as Kang just to see Josh rage out. But see, like, that's the funny thing is, like, I actually wouldn't care. I think people get it twisted. Like, I care more that you don't see that my analysis of the situation is fucking spot on. I'm more upset about that than I am about Majors. I don't give a fuck. In fact, my opinion on Majors actually flipped towards the end where I was like, yeah, I think Disney did him pretty dirty. But the truth is, like, I just see it the way I see it, and I've been analyzing this shit for like 7+ years. I have some skills. So the truth is, I'm actually it's more petty than you can imagine. It's not that I care that Jonathan Majors pops up. I'd be like, hey, what's up? It's more like, I know what I know, and that shit ain't happening. So you should be like, Josh is probably right, because he knows his shit. Rossi says, Warhammer greater than Agatha. I mean, you're not wrong. Chris says, I would love it if Agatha went super sweaty, but I doubt it. Doesn't seem like a show for us, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, I certainly don't see the show going very deep. I would love for that to be the case. I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to be like, you know, wow, like this show is surprisingly nerdy, surprisingly entertaining, and I feel like I'm learning a lot about Marvel. You know? But I don't know if I'm going to have that reaction. Rob, can we talk about Apocalypse in AVA? What's AVA, bruh? Get Rob talking about the new Ultimates? I'd love to talk about the new Ultimates with Rob. I mean, you know, we've talked about it before. We sort of flirted with the idea of doing a podcast or something like that. So maybe we'll get something like that going on. All right, cool. I'm caught up on chats. Hey, what do you guys think of Null? I'm excited. I think it could be cool. Oh, Avengers vs. Aliens. Yo, I actually haven't read that. Is it pretty good? I got to catch up on my comics, man. You know, I got to catch up on my comics. Today, I got to play some Space Marine 2. My buddy got Space Marine 2. I'm going to play that tonight. I have to work on some video ideas. Like, I didn't do shit over the weekend for YouTube. And on Friday, we read that Q&A from Alex Perez. Dude, some of the stuff he said in there was fascinating. And then we reread that Avengers 33, I think it was. Like, bro, there's ideas up here. There's ideas. Like, we're cooking ideas. I got to write the scripts. I got to come up with the thumbnail ideas. And then I got to get back to work. I need a solid week of work, you know? Last week, I kind of, like, started strong and then trailed off a little bit. And then, you know, had the wedding and everything. Am I streaming Space Marine tonight? I was honestly not going to stream Space Marine tonight. It's not that I don't like, I mean, I had fun when we streamed it before, you know what I mean? It was cool. But I do kind of want to stream, or I want to play off stream, so that I can, you know, have a couple drinks, have a couple smokes, and just be in my zone, you know? Which also, I saw this thing, which, like, we could try at some point. I don't know if you guys watch, like, Tim the Tatman like that or anything. But, so he did a stream with Nadeshot. And Nadeshot had this thing where he would take a shot of vodka or Tito's or maybe, like, a shot of something. Like, every 100 gifted subs or something like that. And I was like, we could try something like that. But that would also be pretty dangerous. And also, I think technically against TOS. So, Star Wars Explained will probably try to get me canceled for it. I saw every 10 gifted, Josh does a shot of water. Well, what Nade did to get around it was if every 100 gifted, they get a little coupon. And then his wife would put a tube in his mouth and pour stuff in it, which was technically not connected to the I don't know. Nade shot is a fucking vibe. Yeah, I like Nate, man. He's cool. He's a cool guy. Accomplished dude in the space. Nespresso shots instead of vodka? You guys are trying to see me just totally crash out. Just be like, heavy nerds explained. It would be great. Look, I love all these guys. But that's the thing is, like, remember when I was talking earlier about, like, how things shifted? Like, shit just shifted, man. Like, and, you know, Paul from Heavy Spoilers, a good friend of mine. And we talk a lot in the DMs and everything like that. And our perspective just totally shifted on it. Like, first of all, we all realized that as much as a dream job, here's what it is. You want to know why we all got close? You want to know why all the streamers and YouTubers got close? You're not gonna like hearing this, but this is the truth. Maybe I shouldn't say it. Yeah, it's trauma bonding. Here's the thing. We realized that although we have a dream job, it's really fucking stressful and causes an incredible amount of anxiety. We also realized that we can't really say it to you guys because you guys will be like, oh yeah, it's so tough being a fucking streamer and YouTuber. Oh, it's so tough. And then you guys go into the coal mine and you come out and you fucking hate us. So we realized that we're in this unique spot where it's a really rough gig. Nobody else understands unless you do the gig. So we all get together ourselves and complain about our privileged, cushy, crazy fucking lives. That's how we all bonded. And technically, I think I need to Men in Black and erase all of your memories of this. You're not supposed to know. Yeah, see? Streamer cry babies. Exactly. Exactly. See? I knew I shouldn't have even brought it up. Star Wars Explained sucks. I mean, I'm not a fan. You know? There are still coal miners? Hell yeah, brother. I got some coal miners in my family. They do the same thing when I go to the family event. You know? They'll come out, they got soot all over them, a hard hat and all this stuff. And, you know, they got like a bad knee and they come up to the table and sit next to me and they get their soot off of them. And they're like, the canary died, so I had to get out of there. It's been a tough day. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I know exactly how you feel. Chat was really, really rude to me this morning about my hair and what they were like triggering me, and I had to talk about this Star Wars drama, and like, dude, it's like crazy. Like, I was, and then like I look at my so that's what I mean. It's like it's just a little, it's kind of like an unrelatable position to be in, you know. So I didn't expect Theory to expose Star Wars Explained like that. Well, I haven't seen the video. Is it a pretty hard takedown? It's draining. It is. Look, read your chat. Did I miss your chat, brother? Oh, about the Ultimates? Yeah, I wish I would have seen that. We could have got him talking about it. Is that what you're talking about? Because that would have been sick. Oh, wait. No, it's not that? My wife just said, you just get on the internet and talk shit. That's what I mean. And that, look, so, is that true some days? Of course. Of course. And I also had this feeling yesterday, like, oh my God, now we're going to therapy too, right? So I had this feeling over the weekend where, like, I just, again, it's a ebb and flow kind of a situation, right? But like a lot of my friends, you know, because the wedding was on Sunday and then they just got off Monday, right? And they just got off Monday. And I had this thought that, is it awesome to be your own boss? Like, hell yeah. Is it awesome to have your own business? Hell yeah. But the one, I shouldn't say the one, but one of the drawbacks is like, I don't get to just like show up and do a job and not think of the full scope of the business. So like when I was a server, or if you're in retail, you don't walk into like Hot Topic and be like, I wonder what the margins are looking like in the tumultuous economy to come. What kind of pivots and moves do we have to make so that we are still operating at a certain level of margin? You don't think about that shit at all. In fact, you probably don't even think about your actual job. You probably listening to the music, probably doing this, taking as many breaks as possible, hiding in the back, taking extra. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't actually care how the business is doing. And to be honest with you, you're not really paid to do that either. And so there is like kind of a nice aspect to it where like when you walk away from your job or you clock out, you're done. You're good. You know what I mean? And as like an entrepreneur, somebody that runs like a channel or business, like that's not how that works at all. It is an all-encompassing, constant pressure. And you have to constantly think about how to adapt, adjust, pivot, you know. Mariana, what up? Says, I'm glad that Star Wars Theory is finally taking Star Wars Explained to task. Him and his wife Molly are a bunch of shills, a tool for Lucasfilm. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not trying to get personal or whatever, and I don't know them personally, but my perception is they are pretty much exactly what a lot of us thought they were. And I also think, unfortunately, they do view things through this like Game of Thrones political lens. Yeah, they're pretty shitty. I don't know what he put in the vid, you know, but I know a lot of stuff that he and I talked about privately. So, yeah. Star Wars Explained wears dresses, no credibility at all. Well, all the Scots wore dresses, and they were so fucking tough. The Vikings were like, nah, we're good. So, I don't know. You can wear a dress and be tough. I don't know that that's how I would describe Alex. But, let's not blame the dresses. Hey, yo, did you see my Discord message? No. Let me check it out. Oh, about your script? Oh, brother, I'm so sorry. I did see that. But, yeah, I'll try to get to it. Hey, by the way, I came up with an idea for a script that I think would be an instant classic. And I'm a little bit confused on what I should do. Like, should I write this fucking script and try to sell it? Should I just, like, put it out there as content? Should I just forget about it? I don't know. But I had this idea. Because I actually hit, does it have good pacing? Yeah. But the pacing is something that needs ironed out. Give it to me. Give it to me and let me write it for you. I mean, we could do something like that. You know, the truth is, this is something that I really wanted to do. Is, I wanted to co-write the script with Paul from Heavy Spoilers. We were chatting a little bit, just about like needing like a new sense of adventure, needing something new to work on. And, we might do something with like comics or something like that. But I was like, you know what I'd love to do is co-write a screenplay with you. Cause I've been in writers' rooms before. It's like it can be very fun, you know, creativity, bounce ideas. And especially if you have the same vibe, it can be really cool. Eck in theory working things out. Yeah. And I'm super happy about that. I mean, I like both of these guys, you know, and I think that they're both pretty equitable individuals. And I think too for Eck, I mean, I don't know. To me, Eck has gotten it a little bit over the last couple of years. A lot of Disney Star Wars fans don't like the way he titles and does YouTube. But at the end of the day, if you want to get views, you've got to kind of play the game. And so I think there's... Oh, he deleted his X profile? That's tough. I'll have to find him on something else. I think for a lot of content creators, they get it. They understand the space and they know what it is. And they know that you have to be somewhat sensational. I mean, if you think about it, We haven't really talked about shit today. And my title says, wow, let's talk about it. And, you know, like we had a decent stream, you know, and it brought people in, you know, like we had pretty good numbers on YouTube. I think we were peaking over 900. I think we're over 1,000 on Twitter right now. Probably nothing on really on Twitch, but I appreciate my Twitch people. I do. Yeah, like dude, at some level you gotta, like, that's what it is, brother. Why did I make the title like that? To get you curious, to come in. Duh. Yeah. Damn, you missed something? Those Alex conversations were private too, but it's good he brought those up too, no? Again, I don't know exactly what he brought up, so I can't specifically speak to it. I don't like to leak DMs. Would I leak DMs? Yeah, but it'd have to be a pretty crazy situation. I don't think leaking DMs is... I mean, it's pretty lame. But I think you can be justified in doing it. It just kind of depends, right? So... Remember when Josh quit? Hell yeah, man. I remember. Theory said that Star Wars Explained created the memo letter, and I don't think that's true. Has anybody come out to, like, take credit for it? We out here, though. Ape Man Ultra, appreciate you on Twitch. J-Crop56, appreciate you on Twitch. Hell yeah. No, Doc is live. Ironically, Doc... So here's the deal with Doc, okay? Doc is now a streamer I will watch when nobody's around, okay? Elisa said I could watch Doc, just not in the living room. And to be honest with you, I might watch Doc, but not talk about it, because probably shouldn't be doing it. But that's kind of where I'm at. You know? Like, I still think the guy's super entertaining, incredibly problematic. Don't like the strategy here. Don't think it's actually going to work out. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it. February 14th with a 5 spot says, after bringing every Diamond Lounge, after binging every Diamond Lounge stream, I'm not ready to go back to these fully clothed streams. Unity! Hey, I'm sorry, man. We got to keep a little extra for the people behind the scenes. You know what I mean? That is what it is. Kyber says, hey Josh, you're the best. What's your P.O. box address? I want to send you $1 million. Oh, dude, I have it somewhere here. I have it somewhere here. I tell you what, on Wednesday stream, I'll get it for you. Molly framed it in a way that made it seem like she made it, though. Oh, yeah, is that true? I mean, look, what do you want me to say? I don't... How about this for a statement? I happen to think that Molly's probably not a nice person. I happen to think that Molly isn't a person of moral fiber. How about that? Is that fair? My memory files apparently are lacking proper information on this, Doc, as per your vocal cues and sarcasm level. Take us with you to do it. What? Actually, you know what's funny? Bala Baba. Change it to just chatting. Oh, I probably should. Yeah, it probably says Warhammer, huh? Not that I'm going to stream at the P.O. box, but I do want to get a kit to do IRL streams. I have been thinking about that. It's something Elisa and I talked about, and I think it could be really cool. So I do want to figure out some IRL streaming stuff. Just give me some time. Give me some time on that. Thoughts on K-Dot for the Super Bowl? Bro, it's so crazy. So, I actually was about to talk about this earlier. So here's the only question I have about this. Is there anything to the Lil Wayne Jay-Z beef? Is there a beef there that I do not know about? Because I saw some stuff where I was like, normally, like, I think I get it. There was some stuff that, like, Wayne said, and I was like, what? Like, what does that mean? Yeah. So I just don't know. Okay, so K-Dot doing the Super Bowl. That's crazy. Yeah, if I was Drake, I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, you you better do something before the Super Bowl, bro. Yeah, you know what's funny, man? Like, I think, and I don't know, it's just tough because it's like internet shit. But a lot of the people that I talked to over the weekend, whenever the thing came up, like, everybody pretty much said the same thing. Where they're like, yeah, but Drake is super sus. All that Millie Bobby shit was so weird. And it's true. Like, the thing is, Drake is kind of a sus motherfucker. He is. And it's like, are we seeing this big cultural thing where, like, people now, if you are that kind of person, like, we're trying to put, like, watch on you? And then I saw there was the president of FIFA or something. Because I think the next World Cup's in Toronto. I saw, like, Drake, because he's an ambassador of Toronto, speaking to, like, the president of FIFA. And I'm just sitting there like, isn't FIFA the shadiest fucking organization on the planet? Like, don't they literally launder money and do, like, absolutely horrible shit? And so there's a part of me that's like, maybe it is time up for all these. Maybe Cat Williams was right, bro. Like, maybe we as a sort of collective consciousness are just rejecting some of the mindsets and some of the sort of principles that used to be okay. You know? Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. We'll see what happens, but yeah, if I was Drake, I'd be pretty fucking bummed about it. And yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think he's a good performer, right? So should be entertaining. I mean, we'll probably be live because they'll have some Marvel trailer that we're waiting for. So maybe we'll watch it, and I'll just be like crying because he's already dead. You know what they doing? Nah, you don't have seen women on Facebook still riding for R. Kelly. Haven't? Wait, what? Haven't seen? No, I don't know about that. Did you watch the week 1 games? I watched some of them. Yeah, I was at kind of, you know, at the wedding and everything. Crazy the Steelers won. Were they supposed to win? Yo, so I didn't know this. If I am Drake, I'm staying very quiet all the way to the Super Bowl, though, and through it. I don't know. I guess. My buddy told me that the Steelers in preseason had the worst offense in the league. I had no idea. I guess I just haven't been paying close attention. The worst offense in the league? But we beat the Falcons? Super Bowl. I mean, I don't know for sure, but Super Bowl. Which, by the way, if the Steelers make the Super Bowl, I will not be streaming. Even if the Secret Wars trailer is going to be shown. I'm going to be watching that game. Getting lit up. I don't know about all that, but The Office has some growing pains, to say the least. Oh, okay. Right on. Right on, man. NFT over sports ball over rap beefs. Why not all three? Why not all three? They just hired a new OC. Okay, gotcha. Okay, makes sense. Okay, so that explains the preseason a little bit. New OC. Okay. Are you a Steelers fan or a Cowboys fan? Because you sound like one. I mean, the difference between a Steelers fan and a Cowboys fan is we've had Super Bowls in the last 20 years. And we have the most out of anybody. Although, do we? We have... Did the Patriots, did they get 7? Those fuckers. I know we have 6. The Niners? I thought the Niners had 6 too. Brady got you, bro. Bro, Was Brady? I didn't get to hear his commentating, but a lot of people were talking shit. Was Tom Brady terrible in the booth or what? Defense wins championships. TJ Watt is the best defensive player in the league. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Gonna be a tricky year. Much love, Josh. Shout out to the 420 Avengers. Hey, appreciate you, Meekle. Yeah, man. Maybe I'll try to make it to a Steelers game this year. Yeah, Brady can't talk behind the mic. Yeah. Can you believe they paid him $300 million? How long is that contract? How is the accolade seeming like a better expenditure than Tom Brady's broadcast contract? 5 years. He'll get better. Yeah, he probably will get better. I don't know. It was just interesting that everybody was like, yeah, he was pretty bad. Yeah, because you have to have like a rapport. That's the thing that's really interesting about this is like he knows the game, obviously. But does he know color commentary? Does he have a flow? Can he be a guy's guy? And I don't really know. And also, this is a dude that was so butthurt about getting paid $25 million to get made fun of. I mean, this might not be a person with great social skills. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I mean, I like Tom Brady. I don't have anything against him, but it's interesting to see people try to do media that maybe aren't great on the mic. It's a certain skill not all people possess. I'm better than Tom Brady. Basically, I was trying to beat around the bush. I was trying to figure out a way to get here, but fuck it. I'm just going to say it. I'm better than Tom Brady. On the mic. I'm talking about on the mic. We're talking about on the mic here. I'm better than Tom fucking Brady. Hell yeah. All right. Got a little excited there. Sorry. Yeah. On the mic. On the mic, yeah. The Eagles have a better chance at winning the Super Bowl this year than the Steelers. Well, that's cool. That's my other team. Yeah, I lived in Philly for a long time, and that's my other team. So, yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Hey, something else that just came out today, guys. Brendan Gleeson. This guy's cool. What is this old news though? For some reason, it's kind of feels like old news. Let me get this pulled up. This guy. He's the main villain of the Spider-Man Noir series. Isn't that old news though? I thought the Vikings would be your other team. The Vikings are my other team. I lived in Minneapolis for a couple of years. I mean, this is dope. Is this pre-recorded content like Nick Avocado? Yes. Yes. Mr. J. Westman says, when you get beat by a guy who look like Eli or a man with a giant appendage as a backup, you're not that guy. Oh, shit. You're talking shit on Brady? I mean, I don't know, man. Brady's pretty undeniable. But, yeah. I think he's pretty good. But yeah, no, I'm hyped up for the show. I think that dude could be doing a version of Kingpin too, which would be sick. Can you imagine this friggin' guy as a multiversal version of the Kingpin from back in the 1930s and then the 1940s? He'd be like, look here, see, Spider-Man? Look here, see? That sounds cool. Maybe we should just play Space Marine 2 for the rest of the day. I gotta make videos, though. I gotta, like, do some work. Blah, 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 blah. Look here, see? All right, guys. I'm gonna call it in a little bit here, but let's chill for a little bit. Any questions, comments, thoughts, concerns? Are you gonna watch the Canelo fight or the UFC Sphere event? Probably the UFC. No, just go make videos. No, you love Warhammer, Justin. I know you're starting to like it. Any thoughts? You want me to say something about thoughts? Should I say something about thoughts? I like that Rob dude. Does he have his own channel? Yeah, he's actually the biggest comic book YouTuber on the planet. I think. If you just look up Comics Explained. Hey Josh, hit me up if you're gonna Fortnite. Stepped up my game. Dude, we had a great time when we played together though. Appreciate you. I do need to get on there, although I already got Dr. Doom. I need to get the fancy armor for him. So I do need to get in there. Do you think one of the reasons X-Men 97 lost the Emmy is because voters were turned off by the Bow drama? Absolutely. Absolutely. Give us your honest take on thoughts. Here's the thing. Sex energy is great. I mean, sex is great. Sex energy is great. It's great to desire and it's great to be desired. So I think thoughts are great. The problem comes from a lack of self-control. Okay. And it's ironic, right? The whole thing is ironic because, you know, there's a Zen aspect here. If you overexpose yourself to thoughts and sexuality and sex energy, then it all blends and becomes less novel, and then there's no ebb and flow. So there's something cool about being a sexual being, but also understanding that, like, if you just become a deviant gooner, you actually are not a sexual being. That's actually not how you house and express the louche. You know what I mean? So for me, I mean, I love these thoughts. You know? But at the same time, I understand the place. I understand the time. I understand my own energies, you know, my own proclivities. Protect your louche. To eat the booty or not eat the booty is the question. I mean, it depends on the booty and how long ago the last meal was, and do I have a cold? You know, there's all sorts of questions. Like how dudes with hundreds of partners end up hating women. Well, I mean, is that really a thing? I think just some people hate women. Some of them have 0 partners, some of them have a lot. Shit. Shit. Den of booty eating? I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not really into that. But different strokes, different folks. My God. Den of cakes. I mean, we are getting dangerously close to some inappropriate conversation here. But I do like Little Debbie's. You know, that's all I'm gonna say. I like Little Debbie's. Yeah, the stream is turning into disco. This is a good stopping point. It's a nice little stopping point, eh? Yeah. Cakes or boobs? All of that is nice. Yeah. All right, chat. On that note, this is where I leave you. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the chatting. Super fun as always. Probably be back to regularly scheduled shit on Wednesday. I'm gonna work on some cool video ideas. I'm obsessed with like Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange, and you know, a lot of the stuff that Alex was talking about. I actually wanted to get a video out, it just didn't work. You know, I had to get out of town, so we'll do some videos on that. We'll come up with something cool on Wednesday. Thursday, I think we're gonna watch the sequels. Maybe we'll watch something else if people are really mad about that. Yeah. How do I get into Warhammer, bro? Luton09. Look up Luton09 and watch some of his shit. He'll get you, man. Rossi, thanks for the sticker. I appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Oh, thank Dr. D. Appreciate the sticker. Oh, Rosie, thank you for the gift. Community. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Oh man, Rob saved my ass today. I didn't really know what we were going to talk about, and Rob came in here and he was like, woo, I'm gonna make a name for myself. She was sick, except for the fact that he doesn't like America Chavez, and you know, we probably need to cancel him for that shit, you know what I mean? Hey, I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna get to work today. I'm gonna get to work tomorrow. Gonna come fresh, pause, on Wednesday. We've got a lot of nerd venging to do. Once more into the breach. Once more. We nerd venge. Remember, open up your third eye and wash out your stinky P.O. box and butthole. Okay, see you later.